right, well, I'm going to have one more swig because I think the more pissed I get, the more I'll interrupt you. So, you're going to love that shit. You go breathe out when you're drinking it straight with no ice, straight out of the bottle. You go breathe out, drink it, then take a deep breath. I ruined that one, didn't I?
You fucked it. Cue the music.
Wash it down with some Carlton Cold.
Oh, God. Oh, no, Josh. No, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. It's too early.
It's too early. Don't lift the screen. I'll come out when they're gone.
It's working. It's working.
Hi, and welcome to the third episode of the Dart Drop. I'm your host, Adam.
I'm Josh.
And tonight we're going to have a look at Star Wars, The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, indeed.
The last turd.
The last... Okay, I got nothing.
The last Star Wars movie I will see on opening night at midnight and buy tickets at pre-sale.
Lie.
Seriously, man, I don't think I'm buying.
You will.
No, I don't. Who's going to? Because I'm the one who
I'm going to. So
I'm the one who always
You're
fucking does it. I'm the one who always fucking does it. So I'm not doing it this time. So someone else can. If we're going to go to the midnight session for Star Wars Episode 9, I'm not organising it.
Well, I'll bloody organise it. That's fine. Yeah.
You couldn't organise.
No. What were you going to say?
A fuck at a brothel.
Oh, you had to say it, didn't you?
I did.
You know,
I had
we're
to
trying
say
to be more PG, and you just go out there and start swearing. What, 2 seconds in? Like 20 seconds in? Great.
Hang on. I didn't just swear. Ourselves. I mentioned brothels.
You said a fuck at a brothel.
Yeah, prostitution is a very viable career, Josh.
Hey, it's the oldest profession.
Exactly. You beat me to it. It's the oldest profession, right? And it's quite a noble one.
So Star Wars, The Last Jedi.
Star Wars, The Last Jedi. Look, the first episode there, when we're talking about Solo, we did talk a little bit about The Last Jedi. It seems...
We'll try not to go over the same things again, I think,
Well, we'll repeat ourselves. It's kind of like our thing. Talk in circles. We talked about The Last Jedi to sort of compare it to Solo, but as we talked about in that episode, I think it was going to become important that we actually, sit down and talk about The Last Jedi because there's a lot to talk about there, isn't there? I mean, yeah.
I don't know if we'll say anything that people haven't already said. There's a lot of... I watched a lot of videos on YouTube, and too many, more than enough, Red Letter Media. I don't know if you watch their content on YouTube. They're very popular, I guess, movie critics, and they do very long-winded movie critiques,
No, I look, I've probably stumbled across Red Letter. Personally, I try and avoid naming names because I'm more worried about getting things wrong. And plus, I don't directly quote people, so I don't feel too bad about that. But I've read so much stuff about it. I mean, I've got other people to read stuff about it, like The Last Jedi was so polarizing, and there's still, even how many months? 6 months, 7, 8 months?
6 months now. And 6 months later, I'm hearing about these fans trying to raise money for a reshoot. They're trying to reshoot the whole bloody movie. They want to, redo the whole thing so it's more fan friendly.
Actually, I want to mention that, but in a minute, because my point is that it's taken 6 months. Let's call it 6 months. 6 months, and we're still looking for answers.
Yeah.
Star Wars fans, we've come from this place where we when I say we knew what we were getting, I guess you had a certain expectation. You always got a certain expectation going in. No Star Wars movie has ever let us down when we went to see it, Josh. Can you agree with that? Like, I know you're not a huge fan of some of the prequel movies now, but when we saw them, they blew our minds.
Oh, forget it. When I was 11 years old, when I went to see bloody Phantom Menace with you and Dad and Dave have already talked about this. It was crazy, man. Like of course, it affected who I am today. It had to have,
Yeah.
There were huge parts of our lives, and same with episode 2 and 3. I think episode 2 was my favorite movie for a while. But now let's just hold on the backlash. I was like, what, 14 at the time, you know, so
Nah, fuck
lightsabers
that, man. Episode 2 is still awesome, all right? That bit where Mace Windu walks out and he goes, "This party's over." I think he says
no,
motherfucker.
come on, dude.
He says, "This
This
party's
party's
over,
over,
motherfucker."
motherfucker.
And he lights his lightsaber and everyone just starts lighting their lightsabers in the crowd and shit. That scene,
He just has a flip.
that bit from there onwards cuts off fucking Jango Fett's head. Just like it's nothing, just like fuck your head. Just chops it
Yeah,
off.
and Boba Fett goes out and picks his
He's
head up like, oh,
cradles his
dude.
head, like fuck, man, that's my dad. Kind of. He's
I
like my
mean-
clone dad.
Yeah.
From that scene on, that movie is fucking awesome. There's a lot of terrible shit in Attack of the Clones, but from there onwards, Attack of the Clones, fucking magic.
Yeah, okay, people will disagree with you just because of after that, you know what else happens after that? I mean, you got the Dooku Yoda fight. Now, no one's ever seen Yoda pull out his lightsaber. I thought it was the coolest shit that ever happened in my life.
Pull out his
you
little
know,
green
when I
lightsaber.
first watched it. Yeah, he loved it, man. Like, he's, you know, walking along all like, I'm crippled, I'm like old
Dude.
and I can't move properly. And all of a sudden he just starts flipping over his head like he's a ninja, like he's a Ninja Turtle. He just turns into like a mini Ninja Turtle at that point, you know?
I still maintain, and this is the thing, like, okay, as an no, you know what? Fuck that. As a 31-year-old man, I still watch that scene. I still like it. So fuck anyone who says that, you know, that scene's shit, because I was one of those people who was always like, look, Yoda's supposed to be all powerful, right? And in the originals, like, the Force isn't really about using a lightsaber. Like, it kind of is and it kind of isn't. And I remember being one of those guys who was like, I want to see fucking Yoda use the lightsaber. So when he walks out and he's like, and then Dooku, what does Dooku say to him? He's like, I guess this...
Master Yoda.
Yeah, he's like, I guess this won't be decided by us, our mastery of the Force, but our skills with the lightsaber. And the crowd fucking cheered when Yoda opens his cloak and just force pulls the lightsaber to himself. He takes the piss, man. He's so powerful. He's like, fuck this. I'm not even going to take it off my belt, you foolish old man. I'm just going to force pull it to my hand. And
It's
then,
so good.
It's so fucking good. And people who complain about that, okay, yeah, it's CGI. Of course it's fucking CGI. Guess what? Yoda isn't real. Okay. Yes.
Do you want some midget jumping around like in a costume or something?
Get Warwick Davis and paint him green and have him flip around on fucking no. I'm okay with that's what CGI is for. Okay, puppets are great, and I personally like that about the Last Jedi. No, wait, hang on. There wasn't too many aliens and shit in the Last Jedi, was there? But
no, there was actually a lot of aliens, but they're all crammed in little areas like. Canto Bite, you know, there was heaps of aliens in that scene in Canto Bite.
And those ice dogs and shit.
Yeah, and ice dogs and shit. No, the ice dogs aren't animatronic, I don't think, though.
No, they are. I've seen like making ofs, man, and they're actually like puppets. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Look, I love the practical effects, right? I do. But at some point you have to accept that CGI is important and can help tell a story. And, you know, when you're watching a Star Wars movie, fucking, I loved that. I loved seeing Yoda flipping around and going all fucking crazy. And I loved seeing Dracula, you know, Christopher Lee fucking taking him on. It was wicked, man. It was awesome.
Man, rock and roller till the end, you know. Like, no, sorry, death metal. It was death metal, wasn't it? Doesn't he sing in a death metal band?
Oh, I thought you meant there's death metal in that scene.
I wish. I'm going to have to look on YouTube now. I'm going to find that shit.
Good would that have been if there's like full death metal going on while fucking like Yoda and... Yeah.
I'm sure there's someone out there who's done it.
His death metal, like Christopher Lee's death metal playing over that scene, fucking awesome. While you're at it, introduce his death metal to any scene with Saruman in Lord of the Rings, like when he's spinning Gandalf on his head.
Yeah, no. The only scene you need that death metal in is when he's like falling off the fucking Tower of Isengard, you know.
Yeah.
And he's just like after that little dude stabs him. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, one of the little dudes.
Wormtongue stabs him and he falls off the Isengard Tower. It's like in a deleted scene. Now, I saw a song. It was like that. What the fuck is going on? You know, it's like that. Like, you know, and then he's falling off the tower. It's so good, man. It's perfect.
You know, in the books, I think it's in the books. I've read the books. They're so fucking boring. I'm gonna lose.
I couldn't
rep for that.
I couldn't read them.
You know, the first book, the first Lord of the Rings book, the first half of the fucking Fellowship of the Ring is set within the bounds of the Shire. It is infuriating. And with Saruman, you know, him like falling from the tower or whatever, I can't remember. I'm going to get this shit wrong. But That's not actually how he dies. Do you know that?
Oh, really? No, I did. Of course, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? See, he goes to Hobbiton and basically like tries to take over, and like he fucks up Hobbiton, and like I can't remember.
Oh,
I can't remember, but he basically fucks up Hobbiton, and then the hobbits like sort of unite and fight against him, and it's like loss of innocence type thing and shit. But that's how Saruman actually goes down. He gets beaten by a bunch of fucking hobbits, mate.
throwing rocks at him and stuff. Don't they throw rocks? Like,
I
isn't that
don't
their like
know.
move?
Yeah, but can you
I
imagine
think that's their
Christopher Lee?
move.
Can you imagine Christopher Lee getting done by a bunch of hobbits? It's just
And he
fucking embarrassing.
Nah, it's bullshit.
It's
Yeah.
bad enough Ian McKellen couldn't pull off a good Gandalf, you know. Although no, he did. He's a great Gandalf, a great Gandalf. But Gandalf is not a wizard, and I will fight anyone who says that he is. Yeah,
Nah,
Fistandantilus is a wizard. Pug
What?
is a wizard.
Yeah. I haven't read those magician books, but yeah, it's I don't know, man.
Raceland's a wizard, mate.
Yeah, well, take my hand, brother. Hey, help me, brother.
Help me, brother.
Throws fireball.
Fucking fireball his face. So anyone listening, sorry, real quick. We do that a lot. Real quick. I'm going to let you finish, Josh.
No, I'm going to let you finish.
Anyone who likes fantasy novels and shit, I mean, I read these when I was a teenager. You read them when you were a teenager, Josh. So they're a lot better when you're a teenager. But Dragonlance, the series, like the original Dragonlance Chronicles and then Dragonlance Legends afterwards, are absolutely phenomenal books. Now, you still need to read Legends, Josh, because that's when Raceland really becomes Raceland, and it just goes to some wild fucking places. Anyone who
I've heard all
likes,
about it though, man.
No, you haven't.
I know what he
you
does.
haven't heard shit. What have you heard?
I don't know.
Spoilers.
He goes like crazy and becomes like the Lord of Time or something. He can shoot lightning out of his asshole and I don't know, laser beams out of his eyes.
Mate, he does that before breakfast.
True.
But anyway, we're getting off topic. You were talking about how there's a thing going through...
reshoot.
Yeah, a thing going through the internet now, trying to gather a bit of money up to reshoot.
Not trying, dude. They're not trying. They've got $15 million in the bank.
$15 million. And everyone seems to think that it's a fucking joke. Now, Ryan Johnson actually tweeted about this shit. Did you hear about that?
I have read the tweet, actually, yeah.
How
like,
fucking...
ha, ha, ha,
how fucking toolish is this guy, man?
I can't look. I can't blame him though, dude, because he's made a movie. He obviously loves the movie he made. He's not going to be like, yeah, the movie I made shit, guys. You're right. Let's reshoot it. He's not going to say that. He wants to make money. Disney came along and said, hey, here's like whatever, $10 million, make a Star Wars movie. He's probably never seen that money in his life. He's like, yeah, sweet, I'll make a Star Wars movie for you. I'll make a Star Wars movie that ruins all other Star Wars movies to come and all other Star Wars movies before. But fuck it, I'm getting paid, so...
And look, and he was allowed to do the movie that he wanted to do. That was Disney's whole thing. They were like, you know what? Fuck J.J. Abrams and whatever story he mapped out, because he did map out a story. We mentioned that in the Solo review. I think we did, that JJ had mapped out a rough plan of what was supposed to happen in 8 and 9. And this is JJ, who can't finish a fucking story to save himself. Look at Lost and shit, right? He still mapped out a rough idea of where things were going to go. And Ryan Johnson was told, you know what? If you don't want to do that, fucking throw that shit in the bin. You do whatever you like, sweetheart. You are the fucking star of the show. Now, what really fucks me off is that...
What really grinds my gears?
You know what really grinds my gears? You know what phrase I love is "gets my goat."
Gets my goat, hey? We're not here to fuck spiders. That's my.
We're not here to fuck spiders. That's a great one. And I bet you that's the first thing Ryan Johnson said when he met with Mark Hamill, to discuss episode 8. He walked in, he said, Mark's like, hey man, I can't wait to play Luke Skywalker again. And Ryan Johnson just said, Mark, we're not here to fuck spiders.
He's like, Mark, I want you to throw your lightsaber over the back of your shoulder. Hey, Ryan, it seems like people won't be happy about that because, for 2 years, I've been waiting to see what I'm going to do with Rey and, if I'm going to discuss about the Jedi. No, I want you to throw your lightsaber over the back of your shoulder and say, fuck fans.
They kind of implied this lightsaber was important, Ryan. I mean, to throw it away might just, completely shit on The Force Awakens, let alone every other movie that's come before it. But, you're the director, so I'll do what you like.
Yeah, I mean, technically it was just his father's lightsaber before his, and he lost it when he got his hand chopped off and
killed a few kids with it.
Yeah, of course. Well, he was chopping down dandelions, okay, for Padme. You know, so
That's right. Yeah.
yeah.
Master
But
Andy.
what are we gonna do? Oh,
No, it's not good. But it was a very good shortcut to making him a villain, wasn't it? Like George Lucas is like, how can I make this guy an evil prick in like 2 minutes? I know. Let's have him slaughter a bunch of kids.
no, not kids. Come on, man.
Younglings.
He killed younglings.
Oh, poor Obi. Poor Ewan McGregor.
I love him, man. Ewan McGregor is fucking owns. Okay, so there, fans are trying to raise money for the reshoots. Okay, that's fine. We know it. Whatever. It's not going to happen. It's bullshit.
No, that's what I wanted to say was the next thing that Luke does, right, after throwing his lightsaber is him and, we're just role-playing here, him and Ryan Johnson are sitting there and Ryan Johnson's like, oh, so, you know what, Luke's had his little whinge, you know, Luke, Mark Hamill, let's just call him Luke. He is Luke. He's Luke Skywalker. He can be Mark Hamill.
He's the Joker as well. He's the Joker as well.
No, he's Luke. He's Luke. It doesn't matter.
Dude,
no, fuck that. I don't
there.
care.
Don't go there, man.
I'm going there. Because I don't care if he's been the Joker for 30 years.
Please, Tyson, please chime in right now. You love the Joker. You love Batman. Nothing.
Toddles, shut up.
Hey.
All right, because no, don't let him bait you. Don't let him bait you.
You're not going to listen to him?
Don't.
You're not going to listen to him? Look at his face.
No, I'm not. I'm going to interrupt because the thing is, I don't want Tyson coming between us, Josh. Right? He's the meat in the sandwich, right? If you start pushing and pulling Tyson, it's not fair, right? Toddles, don't say anything. Keep your opinion to yourself. Okay, it's all good. Josh.
Fine. Sorry, mate. I didn't mean to bring you into it. Go on, Adam.
What I wanted to say to you was the next scene is, Luke, he's sitting there with Ryan Johnson, and Ryan Johnson's like, so, I know you didn't like that whole throw the lightsaber over the shoulder thing, Luke, but, what we're going to do next, I think the fans are going to love. What you're going to say next is, this isn't going to go the way you think it will. Or something to that effect. I'll let you paraphrase, Luke. And then Mark Hamill
need to end.
Yeah, and then Mark Hamill's sitting there like, yeah, I don't know about that, Ryan. Like, I feel like, I don't think my character would say that. Like, I feel like my character might be like,
more optimistic, because he saved the whole galaxy, and he redeemed his father, who was basically space Hitler. I reckon he might be a bit more pessimistic. And
that's actually a really good fucking word. Pessimistic. That is what this movie is.
Pessimistic. Yeah.
It tries to be positive, but it's pessimistic. It's pessimistic.
So it fucks up just like I did. Perfect.
It just shits itself, and then Luke's sitting there. Mark Hamill's sitting there. He goes, "Yeah, no, you're right, Ryan. You're right. I don't know anything about this character. I've only embodied this character for fucking 40 years. So no, you're right. Let me now say and warn everyone. This is not going to go the way you expect." I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember the exact line. But let me throw that out there, Ryan. You're right. I think
this
that's
won't
a terrific
go the
line.
way you want or think. I can't remember.
Yeah. And Kylo later on, you got to let the past die. Fucking kill it if you have to. I don't think he says fuck. He should have. It would have had a lot more impact.
It's a PG movie. I think it's PG. Actually, it might not be. I don't know.
I don't know.
I know they try to go PG.
There's nothing in it that's M-rated, man. I mean, even I think it's PG because all the other Star Wars movies are, except for Revenge of the Sith, because of the whole I hate you while he's burning and fucking corpsey and shit.
I hate you. He's like, dude, you smell like a barbecue right now. Can you come back later and tell me this stuff? Because it's pretty gross. I'm going to walk away.
Can you smell barbecue?
I had the high ground and you thought you could jump at me. Okay, I had to chop the legs off, sweep the leg.
The high ground had nothing to do with it. It was Obi-Wan's mastery, and I can't remember what form it is. It's form 5 of the Jedi.
It wasn't.
It was. Obi-Wan is a master of the
leg at him.
He's not Cobra Kai, mate. Obi-Wan is the master of the defensive style of lightsaber combat. So when he warns Anakin, don't fucking jump at me, man. I know what you're going to do. There's one of two things that are happening there. He's either baiting Anakin. He's either baiting him because he knows that Anakin will beat him eventually. So he's trying to encourage him to do something stupid. That's when he cuts his legs off and fucks him up. Or he's literally saying to him, I am a defensive fighter. You are an aggressive fighter. You're going to lose if you try and jump at me now because I have the moves to stop you. So it's one of two ways. I like the idea that he's smack talking him because he comes down, walking down that ramp with a smirk on his face like you've done that yourself. And he's talking to Padme and he's like,
The
He
barbecue sauce on his robe.
Yeah,
You know?
he killed younglings and sort of chuckles to himself. Um,
Wouldn't it be gold
I
if
know.
he just walked down that ramp and he was like, "Hey, Anakin, you killed younglings." You know, and then Padme would be like, "What the fuck are you doing right now, bro?" You know,
Come on, seriously, Obi. Now is not the time, okay?
we're on a lava planet, and he's obviously pissed off at you. Like,
He's already pissed off, bro. Don't piss him off anymore. He's already pissed off. He's already fired up. So, anyway, again, losing my train of thought. But to get back to what you were saying, forgetting about the whole role playing Luke, fucking Ryan Johnson bullshit, right? There's plenty of examples. Oh yeah, that was the other one. Oh, I already mentioned it. Kylo with the whole, let the past die, kill it. Yeah, I already said that. Maybe
yeah, he loves that shit.
We'll cut that.
Free the man nipples, you know.
Free the man nipples. Oh,
that's right.
Fucking Kylo in his chest. That had to have been CGI.
No, let's not go there. It's too. We can't go there yet. We're only just started. We haven't even talked about the movie yet. We haven't even started talking about the movie yet.
Stop. Calm down.
Oh my god.
This is gonna be a multi-part episode.
It has to be.
So, all right. Yeah, you were talking about this $15 million that people have raised, and then Ryan Johnson came out and did the fucking Disney thing, and he said, "Hey, good work, dickhead." And he's like doing all these clapping emojis or whatever, like, "You guys suck. My movie rules. Fuck you." And this is this thing with these new movies. Now, I'll get that in a second. What I wanted to say is someone's already editing The Last Jedi. Now, I
that
think,
Indian dude.
Yeah. I don't know what he is.
Yeah.
He looks maybe Indian or something. I sent you the link showing a couple of the scenes that he's corrected, and mate, he's done a fucking amazing job. His name's Ivan Ortega. I'm probably going to pronounce that wrong. But for anyone listening, check him out. His edits of The Last Jedi are phenomenal. Did you see the Han Solo, the scene when he's mourning Han, Josh? Or Luke?
They got rid of like all that bullshit, like how Rey is talking, like telling Luke what Chewie says. It's like, hold on, no, fuck you, Rey. Okay, Luke would know how to speak fucking Kashyyyk.
Yeah, so Ivan Ortega, he's editing The Last Jedi. And have you seen that one where Luke is mourning Han, Josh? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think I saw it with and I have seen it with Luke in the cabin and stuff, and he cuts out Rey's part, sort of thing.
Yeah, he removes Rey's speaking lines, and he actually makes it more of a reunion between Luke and Chewbacca. You know, two friends who haven't seen each other for a long time. And then he's like, and then that moment in the movie when he's like, "Where's Han?" And then, you know, in the original cut of The Last Jedi, it just cuts to some bullshit. In Ivan Ortega's
cut to Kylo. It cuts straight to Kylo Ren or something.
Does it?
Like, it literally nothing to do with, like, you know, Solo. Nothing to do with bloody Luke's, you know, feelings and stuff. It just goes, fuck that guy. We don't care about that shit. You know, let's just go
fuck that old hermit.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and instead in this one, he's like, "Where's Han?" And then it's like, it shows that shows this sweeping shot of the island where Luke's hanging out, and like then he's on his own. He closes the door and he sort of just collapses. And like the music that Ivan Ortega uses is, I think it might even be the Twin Sons, the same music that's at the end of The Last Jedi. I can't remember, but it actually punches you in the heart, man. I wanted to see Han's funeral, but short of that, showing Luke reacting to it, mate, that would have been.
Yeah.
I got more emotion out of that scene that Ivan Ortega recut than I did out of the entire fucking movie of The Last Jedi.
It's pretty bad. I mean, dude, they should just give that $15 million to that guy and just say, look, go away for 2 years, recut the whole movie with what you got, and bring it back to us.
I don't think people are aware that he's doing it because he's already almost finished. Like, this guy, he's doing an amazing job, and I'm very interested to see what he finishes up with. One of the things I wanted to mention real quickly was, do you remember
the Black Bath stuff?
No, we'll get to that. Do you remember how not even that long ago, a few years ago, there was a big campaign to restore the original trilogy to what it was when George Lucas originally released it?
Before he came out and wanted more money, and he just changed everything and said, re-release, guys, you know.
I was against that. You know that. You know that I was against that.
Well, you were against the fans trying to put it back to how it was.
I was against the fans trying to restore it to what it was because, you know, we should have this conversation either now or later, but I believe that the art remains the property of the artist. So I think George Lucas can come in and fuck with shit as much as he likes.
That's right. We did discuss this. Yeah, I remember discussing this with you.
We touched on this now in our solo episode, and we've talked about this for hours, literally hours alone. I believe that Lucas has the right with his creation to change it if he sees fit. If he wants to change the Han and Greedo scene, he's allowed to. Your opinion is slightly varied.
Yeah, it's a little bit different to that.
A little bit different.
Yeah, it's like okay. The perfect argument I heard was Picasso, right? Now, when he paints his paintings, do you think he was allowed to come into the museums after the museums had bought it and just touch it up a little bit and change things here and there? No, he shouldn't be allowed to because art is what it is. He came out with that. What?
Shouldn't have been or would have been. Like, you know, there's two different conversations there. Shouldn't have been implies that he is not physically allowed to once he's handed it over. But
yes, that's
allowed
true.
to. No, if he walked in there and said, no, hang on, I want to touch up this last little thing, do you really think they would have stopped him?
No, he's not allowed to. I mean,
No,
I don't
do you
think
really
they would have stopped him.
Do you really think they would
I
have
don't
stood
think
there
they
and
would
been
have
like,
stopped him.
you're
No,
not allowed to touch
they probably
this?
wouldn't have. They probably wouldn't have because they're like, they love art or whatever, and they don't know, like, oh yeah, let this guy, he's Picasso, let him do whatever the fuck he wants, you know? But I believe that he shouldn't have. If he came to them when, say, 20 years after he painted it and he sold it to a museum and it's gone around the whole world and everyone loves it, and everyone's like, oh my God, this is amazing, you know? And he comes, oh, was it Picasso who did Mona Lisa's smile?
You're going to make us look like a couple of fucking Neanderthals right now. Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci did fucking
right.
Mona Lisa, dude.
Well, I get them all mixed up with because of Ninja Turtles. I was thinking Ninja Turtles, man, you know?
Which one did Splinter do?
Oh, who knows, mate? He probably did, what's that one that's just all these, like, different lines of paint? And everyone's like, it's a masterpiece. It's like, dude, it's just some paint, you know, like on a fucking canvas. Anyway, okay, so say they came back, Leonardo da Vinci or Picasso came back and like, look, we're just going to touch up our paintings that everyone thinks are perfect already, you know? It's like, no, you're not allowed to touch that shit. It's not yours anymore. It's public's, okay? The museum has bought it to show the public, and the public's loving it, all right? It's like he came up and he just drew a big smile on the screen guy, and it's like he's like just doing this cheeky like look at the camera, at the people. You know?
I meant
work.
I meant for him to be screaming in happiness, not sadness. I didn't want it to be ambiguous.
And he paints some rainbows in the back and have some, like, you know, like pot of gold leprechauns and stuff. No, it wouldn't work, okay? So Lucas should have just left it how it was. He made a piece of art and people loved it, okay? You don't need to change a piece of art.
Well, maybe you're entitled to, though, is my point. Anyway, we're getting off topic. So I wanted to say real quickly about that the people who are petitioning to restore the original and to get a copy of it on Blu-ray, you know, like Blade Runner, you know, like just have like 16 copies of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
I disagreed because of that reason, right? However, now with this movie that Ivan Ortega is re-editing, mate, if he releases it, or, you know, if I have to pay on through Patreon to get a pirate link to download it or something, I will probably do it because I like what he's doing. This guy is a better editor than the however many crazy numbers of editors that they had working at Disney on fucking The Last Jedi. And he makes a much better movie of it. I'm sure of it already. And I will actually, you know, now jump on board. Anyway.
What is this shit that Tyson's... What is that? What is he trying to show us? What is this? A picture of some, like...
That's Picasso, man.
I don't know.
That's not a self-portrait. That's Picasso.
That's a Picasso.
That's what he did. Picasso was this dude whose brain did not operate properly, and he just painted shit that made no sense.
Hey, he's ahead of its time, man. That photo is the settled woman, and she's blue. He's ahead of his time, mate, because fucking, you know, how many years later, 100 years later, not 100 years, 50 years later, The Simpsons would come out, and they'd be fucking yellow, mate. So he was ahead of his time.
You had an opportunity to go to Avatar there.
Hey, man, what do you think happens when you put blue and yellow together? It becomes green.
It does. It goes green. Anyway,
I know where I'm
Josh,
going with this.
I don't know either. Question for you.
Yeah. You know, it's a joke at the start with Poe, and he's flying along.
Oh,
he's
no.
like, can I talk to Hux, please? And it's like,
seriously,
you're killing me here.
No, like, this is the thing. Star Wars has always taken itself seriously inside its own logic, right? Like, this is the thing I often say. I was talking about Yoda before, right? You can have a CGI fucking puppet little gremlin man jumping around because it makes sense in that universe.
The thing is, it's like I don't mind comedy in movies and stuff, and I don't mind comedy in Star Wars. It needs to have the comedic aspect. It has to. It's it's very. It is got some serious themes to it, like good and evil and stuff. You need to have your comic relief, but for example, okay, Chewie eating the porgs.
Yeah, that was funny. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought that was
funny. But yeah, no, it's fine. I think I might have even talked about this before, but in Solo, he's eating people. Mm-hmm. He's eating sentient beings, right? And this stupid fucking little bird looks at him with these freaky like devil eyes and just like pretending to be sad. I'm like, dude, this thing freaks me out. I don't want to look at it. It's scary. It's like worse than the It. I mean, whatever that fucking weird clown dude was. That's scary in the clown. Okay?
No, you're
and it's
right.
staring
yeah.
at Chewie's soul. Yeah, it's just staring at his soul, man. And Chewie can't do it. He's a fucking dog, man. He's just like, I don't know what's going on. I shouldn't eat this thing, Because if he eats it, that he'd get possessed by the demons or something that inhabit the porgs,
He's going to feel bad. And the fucked up thing about that is that this poor bastard was eating people fucking 35 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the porgs are actually the dark side of that island. I think the porgs are actually like have all the dark energy inside them. No, I haven't heard this theory before. I'm coming at this right now,
Good.
right? I'm breaking the news. The porgs are actually the dark side essence in that place. That thing that Ray was going into,
yeah,
that's
the sphincter.
A nest.
The sphincter in the ground.
Yeah, the sphincter, the asshole of that island was actually the porgs'
Shat
nest.
out the porgs. And
that's right.
Yeah, you could be onto something. I reckon you're onto something. Because, even that would be an okay backstory for the island that Luke goes to. Remember in The Force Awakens, they talk about how Luke was searching for the first Jedi temple.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's the first Jedi temple. That fucking tree, that's the first Jedi temple.
Yoda doesn't give a fuck about it, mate.
Oh, Yoda, mate. That was awesome. And you know what? I kind of feel like they were taking the piss out of us when they did that. Like, they're like, we know you're losing interest now. We know we've shat on your dreams and torn your fucking, fan base apart. Let's just throw Yoda in there. If it weren't for that Yoda scene, man, there wouldn't have been too much else that I found good about that movie, honestly. And I know what they were doing. They were toying with my nostalgia when they did that. But I loved it. I fucking loved it. The way he sort of interacts with Luke and he's sort of shit-talking him and stuff. It was amazing, man. I really, really enjoyed that.
See, so you don't mind Yoda being able to use, like, fucking force lightning? Because that's basically what he did.
He didn't. No, he didn't. He called lightning. There's a difference.
Look, man. No. He basically shat lightning at his asshole and blew that tree up, okay? And Luke flew bloody 30 meters, man. He could have killed Luke in 2 seconds.
No, if he shat lightning, it would have been a Sith power. Because it would have been directed from his sphincter towards Luke. What happened was lightning came from the sky and it hit the tree.
Yeah.
So that wasn't
it too.
That was
I was
just
watching
him.
That fucking thing.
I don't think you were at that point. You were just drooling into your popcorn.
Pretty much.
No, he called on a natural force, for want of a better word, and that was lightning, and he used it to strike the tree to teach Luke a lesson, because he's still teaching Luke. And man, that scene between those two old characters was great. Just like Luke with R2.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, Luke with R2 is better than Luke with Yoda.
Yeah,
because that was what I wanted to see, man. That took me back. That was the only scene in that whole fucking movie that took me back to the OT. Luke and R2 in that place, and then R2 shows that Leia, like, hope me, everyone can never be my only hope. I was like, dude, I'm getting the feels right now. I'm feeling this shit.
When he looks at R2 and he's like, that was a cheap shot. Man, that got me. It was one of the few moments that really got to my heart. And I mean, like, right in me, Yeah. So, anyway, to go back, we need to go back a little bit.
Page turners, they are not.
Disney have refused over and over to take ownership over The Last Jedi. They instead deflect, right? They say that anyone who didn't like it was misogynistic. They're a bigot. They're a racist. They don't understand what a good movie is. They were trying to change things.
That's Black Panther. You're mixing it up.
No, I'm not. No, Black Panther, fucking Ghostbusters, the 2000, whatever it was, 14, 15, 16 reboot. The Last
The
Jedi.
best Ghostbusters. The best Ghostbusters.
Anytime a movie, don't. Anytime, I still haven't seen it. We should review that someday because I refuse to watch it. So I will sit down.
I wouldn't put you through that, Adam. As your brother, I would not put you through that.
Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
Is it that
I've
bad?
seen it, so you don't have to see it. Okay.
Look, well, thank you. That movie and okay, Wonder Woman, right? Everyone loves Wonder Woman. I thought it was average to good, right? It wasn't. There was nothing special about it. Captain America did it better. The whole World War II thing, superhero, inspiring people.
Forget about it. Yeah.
But like Black Panther, it had a particular niche, and that's fine. Like, it's great. If women want to see Wonder Woman and feel inspired by it, that's awesome. Good for them. I love it. That's great. Fantastic. I sound like Trump. I'm sorry. That's the third episode we've mentioned that guy. It's great. Fantastic. I love it. It's going to be the best ever.
That wall just got 10 feet taller.
Well, I'm just going to start selling 26-foot ladders. That's fine. Black Panther, great. If people want to watch that and they get something out of it, that's fucking great, man. I don't mind. But for me, same with Jurassic World. I mean, that doesn't suit anybody, right? That's just a cynical Hollywood studio movie. If you get something out of it, that's fine. But for me, I watch those movies and they feel hollow. And they feel hollow because it's like they've already got a captive audience. You know, Wonder Woman already had the female vote. You know, if he didn't have to do anything for that. And I feel disappointed by that because it wasn't a great movie.
No, the Wonder Woman, it's in the name. Like, I mean, if women were going to get behind Wonder Woman, who are they going to get behind? Really, I mean...
Well, that's right. You know. And look, power to him. Patty Jenkins directing it. Did a very good job. What's her name? Who plays Wonder Woman? God, I'm drawing a blank. The lady who plays her.
Yeah. I can't remember her name now.
God, I can't remember her either. She was like...
It's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah. Anyway.
She's okay in it. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's a good movie. I didn't mind it, but I didn't think it was whatever I made it out to be. And I think people are too afraid to say, look, this movie was average because you get called a sexist in the case of Wonder Woman, or in the case of Black Panther, you get called a racist. And I've got no problem with Michael B. Jordan as a villain in that movie. He is fantastic. But I do have a problem with the movie at large. It's just not a great movie. It's good. It's very good, even, possibly, but it's not exceptional. And
but it's funny, though, because Michael B. Jordan didn't even get much to work with, but he's still a great villain because he's a great actor, you see. The guy who played Black Panther, I can't
remember his name. His name is Chadwick Boseman.
Chad, I don't give a fuck. That's why I don't remember. Because if they just replaced him with Creed, I'd be all over that shit, man. If all of a sudden Black Panther was Creed, I'd be like, holy shit, yes, this rules. You know?
No, because the character is still lame. You know, Killmonger in Black Panther was a great character, whereas Black Panther's a terrible character.
I don't know if he was.
No, I think he was.
I don't know if he was a great character.
I think he was. He was a misunderstood villain, and he had a motive, and he had a reason, and he was understandable. Whereas Chadwick...
Hold this thought. Keep it in yourself. Bottle it right down deep, because we'll talk about it another time.
All right. Anyway, I'm not a sexist. I'm not a racist.
Sure you're not.
Fuck. I'm going to be torn down now.
Yeah, I know you are. I'm bringing myself up, you see? So I'm tearing you down.
Yeah, you're tearing me down. Yeah, because that's what equality is, Josh. Anyway, Disney have not taken ownership of the divisiveness of The Last Jedi, and that bothers me because The Last Jedi is a divisive movie. People like it. I don't think anyone really loves it. I mean, I've heard people love it, but I haven't talked to anyone that loved it. People like it, people hate it. But Disney have never said, hey, look, we understand or we get it. You know?
No, people love the visuals, I think. I've heard people say they really love the visuals of it.
You beat me to it, yeah.
Yeah, but the story is what lasts, okay?
For me, For me, look, you go into Star Wars The Last Jedi and it is a beautiful movie. I've said this. You can quote me. You can pause that movie at any point and you will get a guaranteed beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Photogenically, it is a photogenically perfect movie, I think. I loved it for that, for the cinematography of it.
Yeah, you'd hire whoever did the cinematography for it. You'd hire them in a heartbeat to do another movie. Like,
it was. As I said, it was shot for shot. It was an absolutely beautiful movie. But there was nothing else going on there for me. And for Disney to sit there and say, It was a perfect movie. It was fantastic. You guys don't get it because you're racist, you're sexist, you're a basement dwelling, neck bearded, fucking depressed fucking nerd.
I can't even grow a beard. So that's what's so funny about that.
It's because it's true in your case.
That's right.
You wish you had the neck beard. And you
I
were a
wish I
basement
was
dwelling.
a basement dwelling neck.
So do
beard, man.
I.
wish
So do
that.
I.
Yeah.
So do I. Because having kids is really hard.
Just being a person who has to work at a job.
Yeah,
it's bullshit,
working and being respectful of people and living a life that includes, dealing with people on a day-to-day basis and seeing multiple kinds of movies and, that's hard, man.
I read
It's stressful.
dude. 7 billion people on the planet, and I can tolerate 6 of them.
Josh, was there this
Yeah.
much hatred for the prequels? Or do you think that's just an internet thing, this echo chamber that is the internet?
Oh no, there is more
free
hatred.
pitchforks
There is-
and torches for
No.
all. Like just
No. There is more hatred for The Last Jedi. There is, because, the prequels came out when the internet was out. IMDb wasn't around, but they get rated okay. 7s, 7.5s, I think. I'm just guessing here, but I'm guessing a guess at 7.
no, they're still
7.5s
highly
on-
rated. They're still not poorly rated. They're still considered pretty
Exactly.
good movies. Yeah.
I mean, and The Last Jedi is considered a 7, I think it is, on IMDb. It's not a 6, so it has got merit. There is good parts of the movie. People do enjoy the movie. Okay,
Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's like a 90 something, isn't it?
No, the critics gave it like a 90%, 91% when it first came out, and the audience gave it like 57. I think it's down to like 50% for the audience now. So it's literally split right down the middle. The audience, half good, half bad. You got to think too, people who don't like the movie are going to voice their concerns a lot more than people who like the movie.
Oh, definitely.
I didn't hate the movie. I didn't loathe the movie. After all this bullshit aside, I didn't hate the movie. I don't think it ruined Star Wars for me.
No.
I can go back and watch the prequels and watch the OT and still enjoy it.
It definitely killed my enthusiasm for it.
Yeah, no. Episode 9, I'm not excited for.
No, and that's a big problem because episode 8, we were stupidly excited for, man.
Yeah. Okay, the other thing I was going to say, the Dreadnought, that Poe comes along and he takes out the cannons on top of the Dreadnought, flying around his little fucking X-Wing, taking out all the turrets.
It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool scene. We missed that, of course.
Look, man.
We didn't get in there in time for that.
We went opening night and we missed the first 10 minutes of the movie. It's disgusting.
You need
Let's not
popcorn.
talk about it. You don't need to tell anyone that, okay? Why'd you tell everyone that?
No,
you have to just like...
I might swear, Josh, but I'm an honest guy as well.
You're making us look like amateurs now, man. Amateurs.
Rank fucking amateurs and rank
I'm a
in
bit of
all
wall.
sense of the words.
I'm a bit of wall in between you and me, so you can't come where I am.
That would be
because
amazing.
You are an amateur.
Please do that, and you can pay for it.
Anyway, so we missed the first 10 minutes. I went back to the movies to see it for a second time. So I
Because
gave
you're an
them
idiot.
money.
You're an idiot.
Oh, hey.
You're an idiot.
I thought maybe I missed... Okay.
You're an idiot.
Maybe I missed... Asshole. maybe I missed the first 10 minutes and maybe they made the movie fucking awesome.
That first
Who
10
knows?
minutes. It almost did, actually.
And they almost did. Exactly. Thank you. They almost fucking did. So shove it up your fucking wall ass, okay? Now,
You just said a
showed
naughty
that
word.
openings. Oh, no. I mean, pooper. I mean, butthole. Oh, I don't know how
Butthole. Bunghole.
Bunghole. Now, that start bit when they're flying over the Dreadnought, when Poe's flying over the Dreadnought, and he's taking out all the tower, the
It's wicked.
turrets. And I'm
It's
thinking,
awesome.
this is awesome, man. But then I thought, hold on. I watched a video and they went into it. Like, there's 28 of these turrets on top of the Dreadnought. 28 turrets, right? That's all it's got for 9 kilometers. That thing is 9 kilometers long.
Jesus, I did not know
Right.
that.
Now think about that for a second. It's going to be at least 3 kilometers wide. At the widest point, it's going to be at least 3 kilometers wide, 9 kilometers long. You got 28 turrets.
It's not
No,
that
I'm telling you
big.
right now. It's 24, 28 turrets on that fucking thing. That's it. And they got the 2 massive ones at the bottom. That's how they argue all the power needed to be diverted to the massive ion cannons or whatever the fuck they are at the bottom of the Dreadnought, to take out like bases and shit. Like they were destroying the resistance base. But anyway, Poe comes along, destroys all that shit. Really cool. the bombers come along, and now everyone had this problem with the bombers. I did too when I first watched it. I was like,
It's funny you bring that up.
With the bombs,
Yep,
right?
yep.
And the bombs are falling.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what the fuck? How's this possible? I thought, hold on, the ship has gravity.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So the bombs fall with gravity, and then when they come out of the ship, there's no gravity in space, so they just keep falling and gathering speed.
I saw this one fantastic video. I can't remember the guy's name on YouTube. He's this like science guy, right? And he does like videos like proving shit. And he actually said that even relative to the planet, that would have been enough to pull the bombs down. Like there's gravity, no matter what, where you are in space, there's still gravitational forces from planets around you and stuff. And he was saying that's what pulled the bombs down. But as you pointed out, these ships have shields. They have, the shields. It could be a magnetic bomb, for fuck's sake. Like, that sort of stuff doesn't bother me at all because as far as I'm concerned, you can justify that. It makes sense in Star Wars. It's like Yoda flipping around.
Yeah, I mean, no, but that's the whole thing. You don't even need to have... I've heard the magnetic argument. I've heard the world had gravity argument. I literally just say the ship had a gravity well on it. That's why they're not floating around the ship. So when they drop the bombs, they literally drop in the ship. They fall out into gravity through the Wraith shield, whatever you want to call it, and they just develop momentum as they fall into the ship. So
yeah.
I can get behind that now.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's weird. I mean, okay, so what? We've been going for like 50 minutes and we've talked about the first 10 minutes of the movie. We're doing well.
Josh, this is either going to be a double episode or it is going to be a 2 hour. It's going to be a super special. This is the first Dark Drop super special where we're just not going to stop. We're just going to talk all night.
Okay.
And if someone wants to listen to a 6 hour podcast talking about The Last Jedi, then you sir or madam are the...
You deserve one of those medals from
I will make you a
movie,
medal.
You know?
I will make you a medal.
Yeah. Well, there's those medals that Chewie doesn't get,
Because he's a dog boy.
Because he's a dog boy, that's right. In the fourth movie. Yeah. So I can get behind that. Okay? That's no worries. And a lot of people had problems with that. Now, the next thing I could think of that came in order from the bombs getting dropped on the ship.
We don't really talk in order though, Josh. We didn't do that in the other reviews. Far better that we just talk as we saw the movie, the things we think of. Like,
Yeah. The Last Jedi sort of leans itself towards talking about it in from start to finish way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair.
It's a chase movie.
Oh,
so,
don't even get me started about that shit. The fucking chase. That is one of the most ludicrous excuses for a movie, even without space and the 4 dimensions or 3 dimensions or whatever that encompasses. Because, dude, there's no reason for that chase. The whole premise of the chase is fucking ludicrous. Why didn't they just jump straight to Crate? You could say they were heading somewhere else. Okay, fine, they were heading somewhere else, and then the plan changed. At what point did it change and that they didn't jump away and go straight to Crate? They lost so many fucking people while they were stuffing around while Holdo, and we've got to talk about Holdo, while Holdo was stuffing around not knowing what the hell she was doing. We'll talk about Holdo later. Question for you, because we're getting off topic again. We tend to do that. Like you said, we've covered the first 10 minutes of the movie. I know you... Oh shit, man. When I said to you before we recorded this episode that we could do this every bloody month or something, I was half joking. So we'll talk about Holdo. Let's get back on topic. I don't think we can you and we cannot possibly go minute by minute with this movie, because if we do, we'll be doing this forever. So
we'll do it for fucking it'll be like a 150-hour fucking podcast, mate.
It's just an ongoing thing. You can listen to us sleep, and then when we wake up, we're talking about it again. All right, let's get back on topic. I want to ask you about a few characters, okay? So I want to talk to you about a few characters in particular. Captain Phasma.
Love her.
And Rose Tico.
Absolutely the best character ever.
Now, Captain Phasma, right? Disappointing.
Yeah, love it.
Safe to say?
No,
Don't
what?
say that.
How dare you, sir?
Oh, fuck you.
How
You're just being silly.
dare you?
You're being silly.
I love buying all of the merchandise for Captain Phasma, okay? The character is only in the movie for a minute and a half, and that minute and a half was the best fucking minute and a half of the whole movie.
You could be right. Like, it was her minute and a half in The Last Jedi was far better than her minute and a half in The Force Awakens.
I think we're all forgetting one thing though, Adam. The
What's
guy from the Force Awakens, traitor, pulls out his fucking
Yeah, where the fuck
sword.
was he?
Where is he? He is literally the best character of The Force Awakens, and he's on in this fucking movie.
I'll get you next time, FN 2187.
Yeah, Finn's fine, mate.
So much for her being the next Boba Fett, hey? Anyway.
You always were scum. Rebel scum.
Rebel scum, he says with a smile on his face. An Obi-Wan level smile on his face.
The hidden smile that he killed younglings.
Me. She should have, you know what? If she called him Rebel Scum, it would have been okay.
Yeah, she should have said, "You always were Rebel Scum."
And that would have been good.
As she fucking fell down into a pit of fire.
Instead,
and she fucking exploded. Half her body exploded. And she comes back in the next one. She looks like General Grievous and shit. Yes.
She's just she's fucked, right? So him smack talking.
Fine.
No, of course she's gonna survive. She survived fucking Starkiller, mate. There was a whole planet that exploded, and she's fucking fine. So let's not worry about Phasma surviving into the next one. No, she's fucking dying, right? Like she's fucked. She can't come back from that. And he's sitting there and he's like, rebel scum. It's like, dude, she's already fucking beaten. Like, come on, man. So the other character I needed to talk to you about was Rose Tico, and I also want to talk about Snoke, but Rose Tico first, real quickly. I just want to address this backlash recently. Have you heard about that?
No, but you go first.
Okay, so Callie Marie Tran is the actress who played Rose Tico, right?
I have heard about this. Sorry, yes. Yes.
Rose Tico is a terrible fucking character. Nothing she does is valuable to that movie, and she's disappear.
She's like the little sister you don't want around you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
Cute,
exactly right.
Cute,
yep.
But
yep.
Her
storyline up until she meets Finn is actually pretty good. Like when she like tases Finn and shit, and she's like, "Oh, you're a traitor," and she fucking zaps him. That's pretty cool.
I like what you said there. Because her character before she meets Finn is no character at all.
No, that's bullshit. She lost her sister, for one.
Yeah, but she's not in the movie up until then.
No, that's not, well, yes and no. Like, she's lost her sister, and she meets Finn, and as far as she's concerned, Finn's this hero, and then he's trying to escape, and she's like, all right, now I have to tase you. That was cool. I actually got a laugh out of that scene. But then everything, her and Finn do from then on, Canto Bite and everything, we should probably talk about Canto Bite, is wasted. It's just padding. It's just filler. And, like, it all culminates, and we'll talk about it probably later on. We won't. We keep saying that we won't end up talking about it.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty bad.
That scene when Finn's on his suicide run at the end of the movie, and he's going to kill himself, that hit me in the heart as well. I was like, oh, fuck, we're going to lose Finn. Like, I liked Finn in The Force Awakens. He's been pretty hopeless in this movie, but I liked him in The Force Awakens, and now he's going to die. And then she smashes into him, and there's this whole fucking stupid scene when he goes over to a fucking wrecked, bloody, smashed apart, bloody cruiser thing, and he's like, what'd you do that for? And she's like, we don't beat them by, killing ourselves. We beat them by something for the people we love. And he's like, what the fuck? And she kisses him. And it's like the little sister. It's like your little sister kissing you, man. It's the most bizarre fucking thing in the world. And you're like, is this supposed to be romantic? What the fuck's going on here? Her character in that movie is completely fucking wasted. Completely wasted. And I want to say real quickly before you have your little bit about Rose, I want to make it very fucking clear, crystal fucking clear. I do not have a problem with Callie Marie Tran, and I think that what she's gone through as far as bullying and shit like that is absolutely disgraceful. Separate the character from the actress. I haven't seen her in anything else. And just like Hayden Christensen, just like fucking Ewan McGregor, just like Natalie Portman, mate, you can take a great actor or actress and feed them shit, and they'll look like a shit actor or actress, right?
Of course, yeah.
And that might be exactly the same with Callie Marie Tran, and I do not at all condone what people have done to her on the internet as far as driving her away, but separate to the character of Rose Tico, who is absolutely fucking useless in that movie.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, I was going to say, getting back to the first 10 minutes, no, not first 2 minutes of the movie, first 20 minutes of the movie.
We're not going to leave the first 20 minutes of that movie, are we?
No, probably not. But, well, hey, we're having fun, so it doesn't really matter. The scene where Leia, so Kylo's flying down, he's going to shoot the cockpit, or whatever you call it, of the ship, of the Radis. I think it's the Radis, yeah?
The Radis, yep. I think it's named after the guy in Rogue One, the Mon Calamari guy in Rogue One. I think it's named after him.
Don't start, Adam. You're gonna get me on the.
All right, go. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go.
Okay, so he's coming down. He's conflicted. He senses his mother
has so much fucking potential. Go. Yep.
And I'm like, holy shit, this is like making me feels. Okay, so that shitty joke at the start of the movie, I can deal with that. This movie's making me feel emotion again. Okay, I like this shit. Kylo's coming down. He's all serious. He's going to fucking blow the shit out of the ship. And all of a sudden, he pulls his finger off the trigger. It's different. He doesn't want to kill his mum. He's like, no, I'm not going to kill Leia. That's fucked up. And then there's these two TIE fighters straight past him. Bang, blow the fuck out of the ship. And then our favourite character gets blown out into space and dies instantly. You know, Akbar, he just dies. Straight away.
Not Leia, Akbar.
You like that?
Brilliant. Well done.
He fucking gets pulled out. Thank you. He gets pulled out of the ship. A fan favorite from the OT dies instantly. Leia goes, lol, I'll survive. Just floats back to the ship. I don't give a fuck about that anymore. Who gives a shit? Mary Poppins all your way.
We are going to talk more about
okay, but let me finish. Now, the whole movie goes through Holdo's like the new character. She's the highest ranking officer, so she becomes the leader of the resistance at that point. She knows a plan that they want to go to the planet. They're going to do the stealth ships, all that bullshit. She doesn't tell Poe there's all these problems, but that could have all been done by Admiral Akbar. There's no reason why he couldn't have done that shit. Because he was our fish man, okay? If you want to talk about diversity, he was a fucking fish man, okay? how more diverse can you get than that?
No, you're not allowed to assume his gender, Josh. He could have been male, female, or
hey,
anything.
That's it, man. We don't know. Okay, so he could have been some fishy woman, male crossbreed, whatever.
Doesn't matter. We fucking loved Akbar, man.
Exactly. I still loved him, and it was a fucking trap, and he died. And it wasn't cool.
One thing that bothers me about all that is that, like, so Leia, let's talk about that for a second. I said this to you when Kylo's flying in and he's wondering if he's going to shoot the fucking bridge, right? To me, watching that, I was on the edge of my seat. And when Leia didn't, when the bridge got blown up and you see Kylo and he's a bit shocked, I was like, fuck, man, they just killed her. They just killed Princess Leia. And they show that scene of her floating. And I was like, I was on the verge of tears, man. I fucking cried when I saw Han die. I did. It's like the second time a movie's made me cry. The fucking first time was Bruce Willis in Armageddon. That fucking killed me. Right?
Yeah.
That fucking killed me when he's up on the meteor and he's like, you know, take care of her to fucking Affleck. And
oh yeah, forget about it.
It destroyed me, man. I wasn't even a dad at that point, and it fucking killed me. And it would do me in now. Forget about it. I wouldn't be able to talk for like a week after watching that. I've got 2 daughters, man. It'd fucking kill me. But, you know, that scene with Han, it still shakes me to my core. When fucking Kylo's like, you know, he's like, I'll help you, son. And he's like, okay, great, thank you. And he just fucking, and that's it, you know? That scene.
He's like, please help me.
Even the way
he's like,
the light changes and shit, man, it goes from blue to red. Yeah. You know, it was absolutely brilliantly shot. And it gets you.
Chewy, man. Like,
that's Chewy. You know, he was going to eat that guy. He was going to eat that guy once upon a time. And now he's like,
I can't eat you now, man. He doesn't like that shit.
Yeah. You're a fucking piece of shit, son. I told you he's a piece of shit. He went and fucking killed you.
You should have let me eat him when he was a kid. You didn't let me eat him. Now look what happened to you. You know, that's why he's screaming.
Oh yeah, we're talking about.
I am lost.
We were talking about Akbar and Leia and shit.
Oh
anyway.
yeah.
So Leia, that whole scene, right? Yeah, like Kylo's zooming in with his fucking ties and stuff, and then the ship explodes, and you get this moment with Kylo where he's like, "Oh fuck, my mum's dead. Like I was responsible for my mum's death." and then Leia's like floating in space and shit. That made me feel cold in my heart, man.
Yeah.
Literally, because I was
Yeah,
like,
it
we've
did.
lost Han, now we've lost Leia, and
No.
both of them are because of Kylo. And now there's something.
It's so
shut up,
fucking stupid, man.
Shut up.
No.
Shut up.
I'm so
Shut
fucking. I'm getting chills
up,
right
shut
now
up.
thinking about my feelings at that point.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
feeling it right now
And
as it happened.
I'm about to take a dump on it, or I'm about to remind you of the dump that they took on it, because what happens next
'Cause
is one of the most lame fucking scenes I've ever seen in Star Wars, right? And that accounts also for all the fucking Anakin and Padme romance shit in Attack of the Clones, mate. That scene with Leia Poppins.
Carrie Fisher's dead.
Yeah, we're not going to see her
She's
again.
dead.
We're not going to see her again.
Nah.
Now, I want to say something real quick. The scene when she dies in The Last Jedi is the perfect send off for her character.
Yeah.
Especially in that
She's
movie.
She's fighting for the Resistance.
She's fighting for the
everything
Resistance.
she loves.
And she's killed by her son the same way that her former husband, or we assume that, and Kylo's father was killed, right? Now,
No, even better, she wasn't killed by her son.
no,
The pilots of the
people
TIE
who
fighters
support
killed
him.
her.
Yeah.
And then he could think about what he's done.
Yes, and now this is my point. How much better would the conflict in Kylo have been if he was either responsible for or indirectly responsible for the death of his mother, right? As well as his father. He's already conflicted about the death of his father, and now his mother's dead as well. Mate, that alone is a movie, right? The ability for you to turn a character on that is immense. And instead, what we get is one of the lamest fucking CGI scenes of a character using the Force who has never shown an affinity for it in the past. I don't give a fuck what anyone says about new expanded universe and Leia being trained by Luke and all this other bullshit, because Plo Koon didn't fucking survive being shot.
No.
Right? When that fucking bridge explodes in The Last Jedi, mate, it vaporizes Akbar. It vaporizes every other poor prick on the fucking bridge.
You can smell that salmon cooking.
Except,
you can smell fish cooking.
Don't go there. Except, fucking Princess Leia, she's floating in space, not a fucking scratch on her. Now,
She's loving it, mate. It's a holiday.
Last I remember, even a fully trained Jedi who was on the fucking council, like Plo Koon, couldn't survive being shot apart in his fucking ship, let alone, floating through space afterwards.
Stop talking about Plo Koon. No one even knows who the fuck you're talking about. Okay?
I know
Power
who
Battles
he
was
is.
a long time ago.
Jedi Power Battles is one of the most amazing fucking games in the PlayStation
but no
1
one knows
era.
who
That's not my fault.
No one knows who the fuck you're talking about.
That's not my fault.
He basically, for everyone, for
That's
a
your
reference,
fault.
he looks like the Predator. He looks like the fucking Predator. You go back and watch the prequel series, you'll see what I'm talking about. Look up Master Plo Koon. He sits on the council, the Jedi Council. He's a fucking loser. He dies in a plane crash.
You know what I don't understand is that Plo Koon had a fucking blue lightsaber in the
No,
Clone
he doesn't.
Wars.
He has an orange.
No, bullshit. In the Clone Wars, he has a blue lightsaber. In the fucking Power Battles, mate, he has a fucking yellow lightsaber.
I thought it was orange.
No, yellow.
I'm pretty sure it's orange, dude.
Yellow.
it's
No, it's orangey. Yeah, it's like a goldy yellow orange color. Jedi Power Battles was fucking sick. Anyway, so
thanks for meeting me halfway there.
So yeah, Rose
appreciate
Tico, Kelly Marie Tran. Can't make it any clearer. I want to go back to that real quick. Can't make it any clearer. Do not condone bullying someone to that level. It's fucking ridiculous. Look what happened to
it's gross.
Jake Lloyd. You know, the kid who played Anakin, right?
Yeah.
Anyone that says that the Star Wars fandom didn't contribute to him going fucking a bit loopy, they're delusional, man. They don't, of course the Star Wars fandom had something to do with it way back when, and ongoingly, and Kelly Marie Tran, she didn't go through the same shit. And I feel sorry for both Jake Lloyd and Kelly Marie Tran because, okay, Jake Lloyd wasn't a great actor, but he was a kid. Kelly Marie Tran's a fully grown adult.
Hold on, but Daisy Ridley, I think she got off.
She
got off Twitter too because of all this bullying or something. Everyone calling her Mary Sue, and she got pissed off at it. I don't know. I think that was what it was about.
I defended Ray's character against his Mary Sue allegations right at the beginning because I assumed we were going to get a reason for her Force affinity and things like that. But then The Last Jedi, she truly is, I hate to say it, but what they call a Mary Sue. She cannot fail. She's never failed. Look at Luke in Empire.
Yeah.
Right?
All he does is fail.
All he does is fail. He fucks everything up in Empire.
Yeah.
And at the end of Empire, he's sitting there and you as a viewer are sitting there with Luke like, fuck, mate, I don't know how you're getting out of this shit. Whereas Ray
He's literally looking out of a fucking window into space.
just had his
with
arm
Leia
chopped,
and the
hand chopped
droids.
off and shit. And
His best mate has been frozen in carbonite. He's got his hand chopped off. He's just fucked.
he found out his
The
dad is
rebels
Space Hitler. You're like, it's
Yeah.
it's not good, man. And yet, The Force Awakens, I mean, the new trilogy, Rey has never failed. She's never failed.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
No, she did, because she didn't actually just instantly beat Kylo. So.
Well, she didn't. Well, yes and no.
No, she didn't just make Kylo's head explode, you see.
No.
I mean, she should have just been able to do that. She's
She will in the next one. I read somewhere that they justified it by saying that her connection with Kylo was why she had so much so many abilities already. Like she's already got this natural affinity to the Force because the Force apparently wants balance between the light and the dark, which I'll get into in a minute.
No, actually, yeah, she touches Force sensitive users.
Yeah,
and she gets all their powers,
which is just horseshit, man.
I'm just like, what?
Nah,
what
it's
is
fucking ridiculous.
I mean, I understand. Yeah, exactly. I understand the Force. Like, going through changes and having to change, that's fine. Like, we didn't see the Emperor shoot lightning out of his hand until the sixth movie.
Or his ass.
Or his ass, exactly. But we can accept that. With Rey, just touching someone who's Force sensitive, you can do everything they can do. It's a little bit far-fetched.
It's on the nose. It's giving this character abilities that she hasn't earned. Luke earned shit in fucking Empire, man. He earned everything he got in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
In fucking Return of the Jedi. So we've talked about Captain Phasma. She was hopeless. We've talked about Rose Tico. You didn't really tell me your opinion on the character, but it's pretty safe to say she's a nothing, isn't she? Like,
I mean, I'm going to get a bit political. Rose Tico is Vietnamese, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Now, basically Disney, from everything I've heard, Disney put Rose Tico into the movie to get more people from China to watch the movie. Okay,
I've heard that. Yeah.
Now, the problem with that is the character that played Rose Tico is actually she's Vietnamese. The Chinese don't get along with Vietnamese people. It's like they don't.
I reckon Disney were just hoping that that Chinese people wouldn't notice that she's actually Vietnamese.
Literally, the first day it came out in China, it went that badly that they stopped showing it because it just wasn't making money. They knew it wasn't going to make money because they had a Vietnamese woman in the movie who was a hero, and there's no Chinese people in it.
How do you fuck that up, man? Yeah. Because Transformers, they introduced like a Chinese, main character in the latest one.
It is beyond fathomable that they did this. It boggles the mind, mate, that they did this. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Because that's clearly why.
Of course it is, because The Force Awakens, the Chinese went to it in droves.
Yeah.
It made like $500 million in China.
Oh, well, yeah. Now, worldwide, The Force Awakens made over $2 point something billion
something like
man.
That. Yeah. But that's the thing. They made about $500 million in China in that movie, that one movie. This movie, they made nothing because literally one character, because the Chinese don't like the Vietnamese people. Not all of them, obviously. I'm just saying in the political spectrum, whatever how it looks right now, that's how people are. So it's like me with Meryl Streep. I'm not going to go see a movie with Meryl Streep in it, okay? It's not going to happen.
You are definitely going to go see Mamma Mia too, mate.
No, I just won't. I would literally rip out my fucking eyeballs before I go see that movie.
Now,
okay?
to anyone playing along at home, Josh has a special affinity for Meryl Streep. He actually really likes her as an actress. He feels embarrassed by the fact. But I really appreciate anyone who listens to just to let Josh know it's okay to like Meryl Streep. While we're at it,
no,
he doesn't actually eat or like cucumber. He's never had it.
No.
And
no one knows. It's like the Plo Koon reference. No one knows what the fuck you're talking about.
This shit is going to go global. Anyway, So another question for you.
People come up with me with cucumbers. Just have a bite.
I've tried them. I don't like them, he says, even though he's never tried them and he's never... Anyway, Josh.
Stop.
Josh.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, this is going to go on for a while, but Luke Skywalker.
Love it. Love him.
No,
Luke, my boy.
But yeah, he's everyone's boy, man. Everyone grew up with Luke Skywalker. I want to know what you thought of Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. We might differ here.
It's not in The Last Jedi.
Oh, is that because you think it's Jake Skywalker?
Yeah, it's Jake Skywalker. It's not Luke Skywalker. Even Mark Hamill said it's Jake
Yeah.
Skywalker.
Well,
It's not
that's how
his Luke
he-
Skywalker.
That's how he played it. He actually ended up saying in many interviews that he's not playing Luke Skywalker anymore. It's a different guy, and he called him Jake.
Yeah.
He called him Jake Skywalker. For me, right, in The Last Jedi, Luke's story is probably, God, you might shout me down for this. I think Luke's story
Don't.
is actually the best told. Now, I want you to just stop your hate for a second, because what I want you to understand, thank you for letting me finish. I know how hard this is for you. Luke in the
It
last...
is hard, very hard.
No, shut up. Let me finish. Luke in The Last Jedi is not, I want this to be very fucking clear, is not the Luke Skywalker that we grew up watching, okay? The Luke Skywalker we grew up watching threw down his lightsaber to redeem Space Hitler, like you said, you know? He believed no matter what in the goodness of others, and he would fight to the end of his life to prove that they were good, okay? Now...
Yes?
Yeah,
Please.
Okay, I want that known,
Continue.
100%. Now, the movie that The Last Jedi was doing and showing, the things they were showing, and the movie they were trying to do, and the story they were trying to tell, the Luke that they put in that movie made sense for that movie. He did not make sense for the Luke that we know, because even if now Luke, he ignites his lightsaber, and just for a split second, he's like, this little guy, my nephew, could be the next Space Hitler. I should stop him. Now, he has doubt.
I'll just chop his fucking head off while he's sleeping.
Yeah, he has doubt for that 1 second, right? Now, anyone that says Luke never had doubt is full of shit, because Luke in the original trilogy was full of doubt. He was a whinging little bitch. He takes Anakin for a ride, mate. Like, he is a fucking whinger, right?
Okay.
Now,
you done?
No,
done?
I'm not nearly done.
Fucking hell, man. This is getting ridiculous. Go on.
Relax. So what happens?
No.
Luke ignites his lightsaber. It's a moment of weakness. Now, this is the pivoting point where Luke Skywalker ceases to be Luke Skywalker and becomes Jake Skywalker, because Luke Skywalker, even after seeing the Jedi Temple burn, after seeing his nephew fall completely to the dark side because of what he did, Luke Skywalker would have done everything to make sure that he brought Kylo back to the light. He would have fought every single day from then on to bring Kylo back. Jake Skywalker would have gone, well, fuck this shit. I'm the fuck out of here. I fucked this shit up. I'm going to hide on an island until I die. That's what I wanted to say. Okay.
And are you done now?
For now.
Because, I mean, this shit is getting ridiculous.
Come on then.
Luke is literally the worst character in this movie. If you're looking at him, from the original, the OT, right?
Yeah.
He is the worst character by far.
Leia?
Movie. No,
Leia's pretty much herself. Yeah, okay. Yep.
Now, I mean, I'm sure if Jai Courtney played Luke, he'd be much happier. But
oh man, that would have been amazing.
Exactly. But
fucking Jai Courtney.
I don't know. I can't even get my head around it, because, like we were saying, Jake Skywalker. He's not Luke Skywalker in this. He is literally someone else. He's not the guy we knew. It didn't go the way we thought it would go. He's right. He was warning us. We should have realized it and walked the fuck out of the cinema and ignored this movie that happened, and then watched that guy cutting the movie up so we could have seen a better copy of Star Wars.
That guy being Jedi. Ivan Ortega. Yep.
His cut will be so much better. So I'll just watch his fucking cut, and I'll try to ignore the fact that Jake Skywalker was even in existence, you know?
And that's why I make a point of saying that I think Luke, up till the point where he ignites his lightsaber, is still Luke. Like, I can still see the Luke from the original trilogy lighting his lightsaber and being like, I got to kill this kid. And just for that split second. And then turning it off and being like, no, I can accept that, but I cannot accept him running away.
I'm a Jedi, like my father before
Yes,
me.
yeah,
And he
exactly.
throws his lightsaber away.
Because you got to think, man, like he might have looked into Kylo's mind and seen the next Darth Vader or something worse, right? It'd been like, I know what Darth Vader did. I've got to stop this guy. And then he stopped himself because he's Luke Skywalker, the Jedi Master, man. It actually shows a slightly flawed hero, and that's okay. But what's not okay is taking his entire character from the original trilogy, this guy who saw good in everybody, except for the Emperor, incidentally. You know, he didn't try and redeem the Emperor. He was like, that guy's a prick.
Well, I mean, he is a dirty dog.
I'm going to kill that dirty dog.
He's like something evil.
He killed my mother. That was the thing. Like with
I mean, with Luke and that. I mean, yeah, I know, but
so that's what I say. So Luke at that point has two choices. He either becomes Luke Skywalker, it continues to be Luke Skywalker, the hero we know, and it is Kylo destroys his temple, which actually, as a segue, real quickly, makes no fucking sense chronologically. This is another example of Rian Johnson taking a shit on what J.J. Abrams did, because J.J. Abrams, they hint, they don't actually necessarily like specify the time that it happens in, but they hint that the destruction of the Jedi Temple that Luke started, Kylo and his Knights of Ren, which we don't fucking see in The Last Jedi.
Well, I thought they were the Knights of Ren. See, when I first watched it, I thought the Knights of Ren were the guys defending Snoke. You know, those red
That would have been
robes.
awesome. If they did that, if they acknowledged that, that would have been fucking awesome. If Kylo turned against the other Knights of Ren, no, of course they weren't. But if they were and he turned against them, that would have been sick. Instead, they didn't do it. In The Force Awakens, they sort of hint that the Knights of Ren were responsible for the destruction of the Jedi Temple, because they show that scene in the rain and all the Knights are sitting there with Kylo, and then it flashes to another scene and Luke's like having a little cry, a little teary with R2. And that sort of tells you that Kylo forms the Knights of Ren, then comes back and fucks up Luke's temple. Then in The Last Jedi, it's actually a case of Luke ignites his lightsaber, Kylo freaks the fuck out, you know, brings the tent down.
Kills his true enemy.
And then he goes, oh, Snoke. We'll get to Snoke in a minute. He goes through and he kills all the Jedi and he fucks off, right? And then at that point, Luke's like, you know what? I've had enough of this shit. I'm going to fuck off. And that's when he becomes Jake Skywalker, because Luke Skywalker would have followed Kylo, or he would have done something to resist Kylo. And
the first thing, mate, go away.
Yeah, go away.
Like, this just completely defeated. Just go away. Oh, dude.
Get off my lawn, you kids.
It's like, it's even worse than that. It's like, I'm defeated. I'm not even a cranky old man with a lawn. I'm just defeated old man with nothing. You know, like, he doesn't even have a fucking lawn he can mow, mate. You know, that's how sad he is. He just goes off and kills massive fish, drinks this blue milk out of a freaking weird, overgrown,
giant
fat
beach cows.
Whale beach cow thing, whatever the fuck it is. And I mean, I'm fine with that scene. I think that's funny. It's gross. It's Star Wars.
Yeah, I think it's
I can
cool.
actually get behind that.
The way he sort of winks at Rey and shit, it's like, yeah, I'm with that. That's cool. That's a bit Luke. He's like, you know, he's taking the piss.
Yeah. He's a fucking farm boy. At the end of the day, you know, he shot Womprats, okay? He's a farm boy.
Farm boy would definitely eat one of those titties.
Oh, of course. I mean, the only reason he's squeezing is because Ray's there. He just used to jump on that with in his mouth, you know? So Snoke, okay. So
you mentioned Snoke. You mentioned Snoke before. Let's talk about Snoke for a minute.
Yeah, subverting our expectations. Oh, who's Snoke and all this doesn't matter because he's fucking dead. You know. Okay, I get people's argument about this with the Emperor. No one knew who the Emperor was. You know, in the OT, no one knew who the Emperor was. It was until the prequel movies we found out who the Emperor was. But the problem with Snoke is we can't have those movies. We can't, because we already have the original and the prequels and now these movies.
Well,
and we have the other stuff in between, like your rebels, whatever it is, you
Look,
know, and
the prequels didn't even exist when the originals were made, man. Like, anyone that says, like,
no.
we didn't know the backstory until we saw the prequels, yeah, fine, we didn't. Of course we didn't. But the Emperor in the originals was scary enough as a big bad that you didn't need to know his prequel shit. I would argue even that knowing his prequel shit is a bit damaging to his character, you know? One thing I want to mention that you've sort of touched on about the Emperor being the big bad relative to Snoke is that inversely, if you kill the Emperor in the original trilogy, Darth Vader is a very capable villain. You know, if you killed him in Empire Strikes Back, the Emperor, if you somehow killed him in the Empire Strikes Back, you would still have a terrifying villain for Episode 6. You'd basically have an unhinged, an unleashed Darth Vader. What we've got in from The Last Jedi to Episode 9 is the death of Snoke, who was genuinely threatening. You know, Rey tries to force pull the lightsaber to her, it flies around him, smacks her in the head, and then flies back to his side. This guy is fucking powerful. We've gone from this guy, who is terrifying, to Kylo Ren, who has, one, already been beaten by Rey, and two, is just an emotionally unstable, I don't even know if I'm a full-blown Sith fucking enemy.
Oh, well, I mean, you've still got useless Tarkin, which is Hux, obviously.
Yeah, I want to talk about him, but do you want to talk about him now? We should talk about him now, because if we don't, like you said, we're not going to get into him.
I liked his character in the first movie.
Yeah.
And the second movie, they make him out to be a little bitch that just gets dominated by everyone.
He's a caricature.
He's a joke. He's a fucking joke.
You know, what's his name? Fucking Snoke. Snoke throws him around the room in that first intro, 10 minutes, man. Like you said, that first 10 minutes set the tone because it's like, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool.
I don't mind. No, see, the thing is, I don't mind Snoke doing that because that should be done to someone who is as fucking stupid as
No, I disagree. I disagree because it looks cartoonish. It looks like something from some fucking Looney Tunes shit. When Darth Vader, when he chokes pricks out through the Force in the original trilogy, you're like, oh, that guy's fucked. You know, like
it's yeah.
Think about it. Think about the two scenes.
It's still corny though.
It's corny, but you still feel like this guy just died because this guy is such a badass. Like when Darth Vader is marching along and he's like, what does he say? The Emperor is more forgiving. No,
you better hope the Emperor is more forgiving than I am. Or
something like that. Yeah. He says, you know, he's basically smack talking the Imperial officer. He's like. No, he says the Emperor is not as forgiving as I am. That's what he says.
That's right, yeah. And he's just strangled out like
three fucking commanding officers. That's Darth Vader being a funny prick, but it's also quite threatening. Whereas Hux being thrown around, it just looks comedic. It looks funny, and it shouldn't look funny. It should be like, this guy's a badass, and he's getting dominated by a bigger badass. You mentioned...
The only reason it looks funny, though, is because of the scene beforehand with Poe flying along... talking shit about his mother. That's the only reason that scene with Hux looks funny. When he gets thrown down to the floor by Snoke, you know, and then spun around, it does look a bit silly because of the scene beforehand. If that joke hadn't have happened between him and Poe, that scene wouldn't have looked funny, man. That scene would have been looking like, okay, shit.
Yeah, no, you're right.
This guy's in trouble.
100%. Yeah. So you mentioned before, like at the start of the episode, Tarkin, right?
Yeah.
Now, Grand Moff Tarkin in the original movie, like forget about the original trilogy, he's only alive for the first movie. He was a character that you believed could be holding the leash of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Now that is a character that is incredibly interesting. Compare him to General Hux, right? Grand Moff Tarkin is just a human. He's just a normal guy. He is in exactly the same position, relative, forgetting about rank, that Hux is in the new trilogy. And yet, Tarkin is quite scary because even Darth Vader bows to this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with Hux, the only time, he's sort of like snidey or whatever in the first movie with Kylo. And he's like, man, Snoke's not going to like this. And in the second movie, he's like, oh shit, Snoke's dead. The dude's tongue's hanging out of his mouth. He got
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Zed's dead, And then he's looking around like, oh, okay, here's the next guy who's a leader. I'll kill him and take over for myself. Oh, hold on, he woke up. I'll put my laser sword. I'll put my gun away. No, okay, he should have let Kylo fly down to the fucking planet, and then to Crate, whatever it is, and then just gone, see you, Kylo, and just flew off with the First Order.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Or just bombard them from the fucking planet, from the top of from the stars, and then Kylo would have to flee into the rebel base or something, or resistance base, or whatever, and like have to fight them in there too. So much more shit going on then, instead of just Luke rocking up, being a projection, an astro projection or whatever himself. It's just like, I know I'm glancing over a lot of shit here, but it's just bullshit. Like, there was so many opportunities that Rian Johnson had to make a fucking awesome Star Wars movie, even with all the shit he did.
Yeah. Yeah. There was so much potential there, like you say. Yeah, definitely. Even having Luke... Look, I was one of the few people that didn't mind Luke being a Force projection there. I didn't mind that. I do have problems with him being, like, passing into the Force afterwards. And why the fuck, for that on that matter, why the fuck didn't his metal hand fall to the ground? His metal hand isn't part of him. When he turns into a Force fucking apparition, ghost, whatever, at the end of that movie, why the fuck didn't his hand fall onto the ground?
Because that'd be pretty gross.
But it's real. His hand isn't part of him. It's a piece of mechanical fucking machinery, mate.
But machinery are people too, man. Haven't you seen Solo?
I have. And, droid rights.
That's right. Freedom for all.
Anyway, we were talking about Snoke. Did we get on to Snoke? You mentioned Snoke.
Yeah. I said he was a little bitch.
Yeah, he went out like a bitch. That's what we were saying. Like, you can kill Snoke, but you need someone to fill the void, and Kylo is not that person. Kylo is an interesting character. I think he's one of the better characters in this new sequel trilogy. But he's not Snoke. He's not the big bad, right? We've already seen him get beaten once. It's not going to be shocking when Rey beats him in the 9th movie. We know it's going to happen.
The only thing that would shock me now is if he kills Rey.
Yeah, they're not going to, though, man. They're not going to.
Yeah, I know they're not, but
it's too important. It's too important to Disney that Rey remains this new superhero. There's this thing about Rey that really bothers me. It's this idea that there needs to be more female heroes in Star Wars, right? It completely ignores the fact that Princess Leia in the original trilogy is a main character and a badass. Princess Leia, her first interaction with Han Solo is get this fucking walking carpet out of my way. Like, she does not take prisoners, man. At a time when movies would not dare do a character like that. So for someone to say that we need more female representation in Star Wars, yes, generally speaking, we do. It's pretty much Princess Leia and, what's her name? Mon Mothma. Like, the only two females in the entire fucking universe as far as Star Wars is concerned.
Oh, we don't know that because there's a lot of aliens too. Like Akbar, mate.
Like we said, Akbar, he could be anything. It could be anything.
That's right.
Like, I can get that, but you don't make her super powered just because you need to introduce females to Star Wars, because the mistake is assuming that females aren't already introduced to Star Wars. It's insulting. It honestly, frankly, and I'm a male, so I can't even really say this, but I'm going to. I find it insulting that the idea that women can't connect with Luke Skywalker or Han Solo as a character, irrespective of the fact that Leia shares their gender. Anyone can associate with any character. I had this conversation with my sister-in-law recently, just a segue real quickly. I was talking to her about a character I was trying to write in a story. And I said, to me, male or female, a good character doesn't really matter. A good character should stand apart of a gender.
Yeah.
Because I've come to believe that. Like, if you associate with Luke Skywalker or Han Solo or Princess Leia, male or female, it doesn't matter. That's the important part, isn't it? That you see yourself in that character, rather than making a character like Rey and making her superpowered and making her never fail and being like, see, she's a woman, she can do anything. Just make her a normal person.
Yeah, people need to fail so you can actually feel for their successes. You need to go through the bad to feel the good. Same with Rey, same with anyone. Like Luke literally gets his hand cut off, like we said before in Empire Strikes Back, when he finds out Vader's his father, and everything goes to shit. Basically, the rebels are on the run. The Empire's won. Han's fucked. He's in carbonite. All this sort of stuff. He's lost. The rebels have lost. Han definitely lost. They've all lost in that movie. But because of that, Luke goes back and trains harder than he would have anyway. He had to learn on Cloud City that he can't fight, Vader yet. He can't take him on yet. He has to learn the ways of the Force. He has to learn how to use it and to come back and fight him. And not even to fight him, to convince Vader that that's not the only way. Like he's his son. It's so much more impactful. And then what did we get from this movie? That's what I'm saying. What did Rey learn in this movie?
Nothing. She learned that she can do what the fuck she likes.
Yeah. She learned she's better than everyone else.
Yeah, and she can never fail.
That's not a character you can... That's it. That's not a character you can relate to. It's not. It's the same... I related more to fucking Chewie not eating those birds than I did to Rey.
Yeah. And actually, I should say, I don't know if I said this in our Solo review, but I'm going to say it again here. If I didn't say it there. Rey in The Force Awakens. Now, I want to make a very clear distinction between the two characters, because Rey in The Force Awakens, I actually did associate with. Like, those opening shots of her on the desert planet in Jakku, and, that was lonely, man. It was, she had that helmet, she had the X-Wing helmet, and she was putting it on, and she was living inside a destroyed fucking AT-AT. I was like, yeah, I get this chick. She's lonely. She's looking for people. This is a character I can get behind. Her character in that movie grew and grew and grew. And there's these hints throughout the movie that she's someone important, right?
Yeah. She's special somehow.
Lightsaber's special. She's special. Who are her parents? There's this big mystery about it. And so
even Ewan McGregor come back to do fucking Obi-Wan's voice to talk to Rey.
Yeah, so you do all of this and you go, all right, so she means something. There's some reason why she's so connected to the Force, why she's so connected to Luke's lightsaber and shit. Even that line. Now fuck anyone that says, Rian Johnson subverted expectations. That line where Luke says, the Force is strong in my family. I have it. My sister has it. You have it too. That was used in the trailer for the fucking Force Awakens. And it was used, I think it was used in the movie. I can't remember. I think it was used in the movie. It's very, very fucking strongly implying that she's some relation to Luke. Whether it's a niece or whether it's his direct fucking daughter, right?
Yeah.
And then for Rian Johnson to just throw all that out and say, you know what, you're special because you're nobody. Okay, fine. That's fine. But to say that the Force just randomly picks some fucking person at random whose parents were junk of fucking druggos, I don't agree with it, man.
And then meant nothing. And meant nothing. Your story is nothing.
Your story is nothing.
Yeah.
My story is everything. I've come from royalty. You are nobody.
I'm a fucking Skywalker, bitch. And it's like, hold on. 2 generations ago, you were slaves. Okay, so let's just relax here, because anyone's someone. That's what I like.
I want to talk real quickly. We've got to stop. We've got to pull a pin on this soon, because you and I.
I'm getting there.
I'm getting tired. I'm actually not tired. I still could talk about this for hours. And that worries me.
I think we need to stop soon.
We're going to stop for the sake of any poor bastard that's still listening. Any poor person that's still listening.
Yeah.
Anyway, fucking Holdo, right? Let's talk about her for a second.
Yeah.
Now, at no point did I like her or was I on her side.
Nah. How can you be? She hasn't got any reason. She doesn't give you any reason to be on her side. If anything, she actually comes out as the antagonist of the movie towards Poe. Like she turns out like, okay, this one's gonna be evil. From her actions, you think, okay, she's gonna be a mole, and she's going to be
Yeah.
actually working for the First Order.
Yeah, and I got that exactly the same thing when they're like, oh, they can track us through hyperspace. It's like, well, clearly it's this chick who's acting all weird. This is Star Wars, man. Like, this whole grey realm that they operate in, where they go to Canterbury and they talk about how the weapons dealers are selling to the rebels and to the fucking Empire, and
And nobody's a good guy.
and nobody's a good guy and all this sort of shit. They go for this like grey realm. I don't need that shit, right? Star Wars is about good and evil, right? When you see someone like Holdo acting suspiciously, you should assume that she is a bad person. Like, that's how Star Wars is formulated.
Yeah.
So when you see her acting weird and like playing up to Poe, and I kind of get where Poe failed and why people say that she didn't have to tell Poe her plan. I get that.
No, well, she didn't. She's
she
the
didn't.
commanding officer.
But the way she does,
Raditz,
she does that Obi-Wan smile at him, like when he's like, "Just fucking tell me what you're doing," and she like does that Obi-Wan smile, and he's like,
"Oh, you stupid man!
Yeah, you foolish man." And he's just sitting there like, "Well, fuck you then. I'm gonna send my buddy and his girlfriend, his new fucking Rose Tico girlfriend, off to this place to find this guy who can break into the flagship." If she had just said to him at any stage,
I know,
here's what we're doing.
Yeah, and that's why everyone has the problem with Canto Bight. I mean, that whole area, that whole thing, that whole 30 minutes
completely irrelevant.
Completely irrelevant, and they don't even achieve anything anyway because they get caught instantly when they get on not the Dreadnought, on the Imperial whatever.
Yeah, the Dreadnought
First Order ship. No, it's not the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought gets blown up in the first.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
What's the thing at the start?
Oh, I
that
don't
was a Dreadnought.
fucking know. I'm getting tired.
Oh fuck this. Yeah.
Snoke's fucking throne ship anyway. Well,
Yeah.
Everyone knows what we're talking about.
So anyway, they get like captured basically straight away after they go to that place to stop the transmission. So the Resistance can escape. So the First Order isn't tracking them through light speed.
Yeah, and Benicio del Toro just sort of stutters along and goes, "See, I fucking told you not to trust me." It's like, what?
Yeah.
Why are you even in this fucking movie? He's such a good quality actor. Why are you even here, Benicio? Just
because they needed to introduce that Lando character. That's what
he's not a Lando character. He's a piece of shit. He's a stuttering piece of shit.
Well, they had to introduce someone.
So Lando didn't stutter, right? Lando was a smooth motherfucker, man. He knew what was going on.
Old buddy.
Yeah, exactly. You're still kicking around with this old scoundrel. So look, Holdo was terrible. One other thing I want to talk about Holdo. Did you know she's force sensitive, Josh?
Oh, look, let's not get into this. It's going to go for fucking
just quickly
forever. Yes.
No, I asked you a question.
I know she's force sensitive. Yes, I've heard it.
That came out
it's bullshit. Yeah, I know.
I love Laura Dern, man. I haven't seen her in anything since the original Jurassic Park. And then I see her I see her name in The Last Jedi. Okay. Again, well, just like the Rose Tico, Kelly Marie Tran situation, separating the actress from the role. Holdo is a terrible I still love her in Jurassic Park, and I'd still gladly watch her in the sequel, though she's not. Jeff Goldblum is. But what I wanted to ask you, that whole scene where she like warp speeds into the fucking Dreadnought or whatever it is, and wipes out the fleet. I want to say something real quick, and then I want to get your thoughts. When I saw that scene, I thought, again, talking about the cinematography of it, I thought that is absolutely fucking awesome. That looks amazing.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
Looks awesome.
I agree with you. It looks fucking awesome, but it destroyed the universe.
Yeah.
It destroyed Star Wars as a universe.
Yeah.
But it looked awesome while I did it.
So it made no sense whatsoever, did it?
No. I mean, the only thing I can say is if they want to somehow argue it away, they could say because Laura Dern's character, like Admiral Holdo or whatever, is force sensitive, she could somehow manipulate light speed. I don't know.
No, I'm sure they could. I'm sure they could work that in there.
They need to retcon it because it is basically just a get out of jail free card for anybody who wants to destroy a fleet that's chasing them. Like,
there's any
send one ship out.
Yeah, there's any number of things you can introduce. You can suggest that they could have introduced in the same sort of way. So, for example, they could have taken out the original Death Star that way, right? As another example, even just in this movie's chronology, they could have launched one of their ships at the fucking dreadnought at the very beginning of the fucking movie when the chase is starting and solved the problem. And she could have saved thousands of people in the resistance. Instead, she's like, let's wait until the very end and then I'll pilot my ship and I'll fucking smash it into the big ship. So why didn't she do that at the fucking start? She'd have done that at the start. She could have saved thousands of people, man. Tens of, possibly.
And it's like
Who knows?
that other ship. Well, it's like that frigate they had with them. Oh, I think it's a frigate. I don't know what it's called, but there's the black dude's on it, and he's like, "Godspeed, rebels," and he blows up. I'm like, oh fuck, that's messed up. You know, like he sacrificed himself. Then I was thinking about it. I was like, hold on, that poor prick was just told to keep fleeing when he could have turned around and used his sacrifice that meant something. You know, he could have gone into Lightspeed and into the First Order and taken out their fucking ships. And it's like, hold on, huh? What am I missing here? Are they low on fuel? Well, they wouldn't be low on fuel they wouldn't be low on fuel if they used them to fly into the First Order. At that point, you're not losing anything. You're not, you know. Oh,
no, that's exactly my point. Exactly my point. So anyone who says Holdo is a fantastic fucking commander has no idea. All she's doing is following Leia's plan. And honestly,
I don't think anyone has ever said she's a fantastic commander.
No, lots of people have, man. Lots of people are fucking on board with Holdo, man. And something else I want to mention to you. Now, Holdo is awful close to Hodor.
Okay.
There's something just occurred to me, right? But I want to ask you real quickly. Who do you think? Who do you think was more heroic?
Well, what? Someone who held the door or someone who flew into the First Order?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously Hodor, because he got teared to shreds.
Hodor, mate. That guy is a fucking hero. Fucking Hodor, not Holdo, right? That's where we need to be. Hodor forever, mate. Fucking
Hodor forever.
Hodor forever. Holdo is like, you know what? I fucked this shit up. Good thing I blamed Poe Dameron for it, and he's a war criminal now. He's killed fucking thousands of people. Everyone hates that prick.
No, he's not.
Yes,
no, he's not. She even turns to Leia at the end of the movie, and Leia says, "I like him," and she's
Holdo's like, I like him too. Fuck, man.
And it's like, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
Fucking hate
Look
him.
at everything you've just done to that poor prick.
Oh,
Hodor.
It's just,
you know, if she had have turned around at the end of The Last Jedi and been like, Holdo, and like repeated like some phrase that Luke had implanted in her brain like fucking 20 years ago, you know, that she was supposed to do that, like hold, you know, the something, I don't know. She's a terrible fucking character.
Man.
We're gonna stop soon. We're gonna stop soon. Couple of last questions. All right, please, just humor me.
We can get back into it. We can talk about more later.
This isn't the end. You know, I'm sure we're going to bring it up in multiple podcasts later. But this is supposed to be our Last Jedi review. Now, if this goes for 2 hours, so be it. Okay, because The Last Jedi deserves more than 2 hours of conversation.
No, it doesn't. It probably deserves fucking 2 minutes. Really.
No, it really does. It wasn't great, but dude, we've grown up our entire lives watching Star Wars, loving Star Wars, living and breathing Star Wars. Okay. The Last Jedi, it took that from us. So we can talk about its impact on us for as long as we like. There's people on the internet, there's YouTube channels that I watch, sometimes regrettably, that...
Uganda forever.
Wakanda forever! That live and die on the hate for Kathleen Kennedy after The Last Jedi. We're not going to be that group, right? We're going to make... This is our Last Jedi review. We're going to finish it, and we will mention it. Of course we will, because it was a big fucking deal for us. But this has to be our review, and if that means it takes 2 hours, then so be it. And I give a standing ovation to anyone who manages to survive this long, right? Into the podcast.
I mean, props to you, seriously.
Seriously, you know, I will make you a medal myself. You just send us an email or something, I will make you a fucking medal, just like the one at the end of fucking...
And it'll be engraved to say, Chewie deserved one too.
Yeah, you know? Chewie earned one too. You know, they retconned that later on. See, we just keep segueing. This is your fault. You keep raising new ideas. Chewie actually got one, but but he rejected it because of his like Chewbacca honor or some shit. Anyway, I can't remember. It's in the comics.
He's Dogman honor.
He's Dogman on it. So, Josh, quick questions for you, right? And you can ask
Yes,
me.
please.
You can ask me a couple.
Rapid fire questions. Yeah.
Finn and Rose's relationship was that did that make
Acceptable?
sense to you?
Believable.
Believable. Is that believable to you?
Enjoyable.
Yeah.
Can you respond to it even? I mean, it's pretty pathetic. It's necessary. Is it any of these things? I mean, I think it's probably a waste of space. And as I said before, I think that she was more of a like, oh, that's my little sis, my cute little sister who just hangs around and annoys me
And pleases the Chinese audience.
And all of a sudden, she's like,
even though she's Vietnamese.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, okay, people might think I'm racist for saying that.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
Okay, and the Chinese, they showed it with their wallet. Okay, they said, fuck this movie, waste of time, I'm not going to go see it, you know? But now, do I believe that she is a character that needed to be in the story? I think she's probably an okay character.
Yeah.
I didn't hate her character.
Yeah, fair.
But I think the idea that her any sort of connection to Finn, there was nothing there.
Nah.
It was pathetic.
It was horrible.
Just shoehorned in. It was like, oh shit, we need some sort of love interest here. And it was like, what is this garbage? Let Finn just be with Rey.
It'd be like if Luke ever made out with Leia, man. It just doesn't feel right. Wait.
Yeah, it's just forced.
Yeah.
I mean, it's shit. It's bullshit. Yeah, it's just, why would they even bother doing it? I don't get it. I don't like it. And I think they should just take it out. They should just redo the movie, mate. $15 million raised, redo it, take it out.
Just give Ivan Ortega the $15 million and be done with it, man, because that bloke is an absolute legend. And I will support him because I want to see what he did with that movie. Based on what I've seen already, I am incredibly impressed.
Yeah. No, the little snippets he showed us with the 10, 15-minute videos that he's shown us, it is very impressive. He's redoing all the scenes. Like even with the scene with Anwar Akbar, you know, he's like,
it's a trap.
He's like doing all, yeah, it's a trap and doing all the stuff. It's like, it's so good, man. Like this guy knows what this movie should have been, and it's so bullshit. There was people who wrote into the Disney and said, look, give any of the fans an opportunity to say what we'd like to see in the next movie. Just get 100,000 people to write to Disney, get someone to read all the scripts, and just take the best parts out of them, take out of them, and make the ninth movie. And you'd have the best fucking movie any fan could ever think of seeing or wanting to see. The thing is, it wears me out talking about this movie, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the problem.
What it is. Okay, so real quickly, we came out of The Last Jedi. This is not me starting a big story, I promise. We came out of The Last Jedi.
Oh, here we go.
And you and I don't know about you, but me, I was sitting there like, that was an okay movie. And the people we were with were like, that was fucking garbage. Now, we've been going to these movies on opening night, every single movie since Star Wars Episode 1, right? Not Episode 4, you know, we weren't born for that shit, but Episode Phantom Menace, you know, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, you know, The Force Awakens, and now The Last Jedi. We saw them all opening night. We brought people with us. We brought the group together, and each time we saw those, people were like, "That was fucking awesome." The Force Awakens, people were like, "Yeah, it was okay," but The Last Jedi, I walked out of that cinema, and even I felt strange, and everyone we were with felt strange. Everyone came out of the cinema like, yeah, I don't know what I think of that.
Yeah.
And
no one knew what to think. And that's the worst. Okay, they said, oh, we subverted your expectations. Oh, look at that. Look what we did there. Oh, aren't you subverted? It's like, fuck you, man. I wanted to go see a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to see good triumph over evil. Or evil triumph over good.
Yeah, I didn't want to be subverted, man. I wanted to be watching Star Wars. That's what I was there for.
Yeah.
So that to me is the ultimate failing of The Last Jedi, is that it left us as super fans apathic.
The ultimate middle finger to the super fans.
Yeah, and everyone else who went and saw it went just like, okay, yeah, it was a good movie. It was an attractive looking movie, but it didn't do much for me, whatever. And you and I are the people who, as we said in the solo review, went and saw The Force Awakens fucking several times at the cinemas. We're the ones that got
Yeah.
alienated. So now, Josh, I have thought long and hard about this before we recorded, and even while we were recording. We need to review this. That's what we're building up
What?
to. The Last Jedi. We need to review The Last Jedi. So I want to ask you.
Yeah, we do. We should really review the Last Jedi.
No,
Next podcast, we should review it.
We've talked about it a lot, right? But as with all of our movies, we need to review it. So we need to say, did it satisfy us? Did it satisfy us as moviegoers?
Well, now I can use the blue milk with a bit of...
and we're not getting there yet. We're not getting there yet. No, did it satisfy you as a moviegoer? Think about all the factors, like epic movie, Star Wars movie.
I'm literally, in my head, I was juggling everything just then. I was thinking, okay, let me think about all this shit. Let me juggle it up and let me think. What did I like and what didn't I like?
Come on, hit me with it.
Was it entertaining? It was entertaining.
Would you say it is a C or a not C?
Not C.
Okay.
Not C.
Interesting, because I would say it is a C.
Yeah, no, I'd have to say not C, just because of all the problems that I had with the story. Even if this did not have the Star Wars name on it, I would say I'd never watch this fucking movie ever again. I know what the fuck's going on. Who are these people? Like, obviously, it wasn't Star Wars, but I mean, it's hard because it is Star Wars. I give it extra credit. And that's not fair.
No, it's not, but it is also fair. It's Star Wars. We expect a certain thing. We don't get it. We rate it lower. If if we do get what we wanted, then we rate it higher. It goes both ways. I call it a C. Now, I say it's a C simply because it's part of the canon now. No matter what anyone wants, it is going to be part of the canon, right? You can't get rid of it. Disney are never going to let it be retconned or removed or refilmed, right? It is what it is. And if episode 9 ends up being something incredible, and I'm not excited about episode 9, but if it ends up being incredible, then, maybe episode 8 becomes better by association, I've heard of people talking about episode 5 as being initial reviews being very harsh for episode 5 for how it ends and the cliffhanger and all this other stuff. We see it in the light of having seen episode 6, we've seen the trilogy, so we know that episode 5 is good because the trilogy is good. It fits in the middle. Maybe The Last Jedi will be the same. Right now, it's not. Right now, it's not a good...
I can't predict it would be, though, man. Like, how could you possibly think that this movie could somehow turn into a movie, the next one turning into like a
forget it. Like
the Jedi. I mean, think about it. Jedi. I mean, I can't say Jedi anymore because The Last Jedi. I have to say Return of the Jedi now. I mean, it's fucking. That's how much this movie fucked my whole Star Wars thing up. I can't even call Jedi. Or Empire anymore. Some people don't think Empire is as good as Jedi. Okay. Now, I would suggest that Jedi is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ewoks
I like all the redemption.
Terrible, but...
Ewoks is the worst thing about the movie, but besides that, it's a pretty fucking good movie.
Yeah.
So,
that's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about, is episode 8 a C or not C, and will it be better based on episode 9? And so, for me, it is a C purely because it is now the 8th fucking part in a 9-part series, So if you want to watch the others, you need to watch this one. That's just the reality. They're not going to remove it.
See, I'd say I don't know if you do need to watch this one. What has changed?
You need to watch Ivan Ortega's one. Is most likely the,
of course. Yes,
answer.
You would. But you think about it, right? When the next one starts,
Josh, you just need to let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
No, kill it if you have to. Now, okay. So say
you're
the
not
resistance,
letting
right?
go. Josh,
let it go.
Your parents were nobody.
Okay,
Junkers.
So,
trash.
They were nothing. They were trash. They were junkers.
They traded you for drinking money. Search your feelings.
You're nothing.
Know it's true. You're
I'm
nothing.
more.
I'm more.
I'm the grandchild of
I'm
a
like
slave. so
Jedi
I'm more than
royalty
you.
and shit. You're fucking nobody.
Basically, I mean,
A fucking lightsaber chose
mean-
you. You're nobody.
now look, no, it's a no C because fuck this movie. I'm sick of it. I
All
was
right.
beating around the bush.
All right. Fine. Okay,
It's
fine.
annoying.
Final question for you, Josh.
Yeah.
How many tweaks on the beach cow's nipple for the green-blue milk do you think it requires to see The Last Jedi?
Okay, so this is what I was thinking about. Now you put vodka with milk, yeah? Is that right?
I don't know. I wouldn't mix it. No.
Well, I'm pretty sure they call that a White Russian vodka with milk.
Really?
Now,
Isn't
yeah,
a
I'm pretty sure that's
cocksucking
a
cowboy
White Russian.
something with milk?
No, that's some American thing.
Okay.
You know all about that, I'm sure.
No,
but
I have no
I'm
idea what you're
White
talking
Russian.
about.
So anyway, now
That's why I
I'm gonna
asked
call
you.
this a
You
blue
know.
Russian.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call this a blue Russian.
It's actually.
Now, I think the
and they
milk
even
that
fucked that up. Hang on,
produce-
real quickly before we review. Real quickly, the milk is blue.
Shit, man.
The milk is blue, Josh.
This is what I'm saying. It's blue Russian.
Hang on. Stop your fucking. Hold your horses. Hold your fucking Canto Bite horses. Because in The Last Jedi, that milk, unfiltered, is fucking green, man. They couldn't even get.
I think the bottle is just moldy,
No,
mate.
fuck that. No, they couldn't. No, because he wipes off his chin and shit. They could not even get the color of the fucking milk right. So let's say blue/green milk. You're talking about a blue-green Russian.
Well, I must be fucking colorblind because I see it as blue.
It
so
ain't
it's
blue.
blue for me.
It ain't blue. Anyway.
Okay. Well, if those titties were making up blue green Russians, right? I would be passed out next to that thing after guzzling myself almost to death. Okay, you know that you know how you can't drink more than a fucking gallon of milk before you throw up?
Yeah.
That's how much I would drink.
Mm.
That's how much I would drink. And I'd drink another gallon. I'd try to fucking kill myself so I wouldn't have to think about this movie again. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Me personally, I think I would drink enough of that blue milk, unpasteurized, unfiltered milk. I would drink enough of that to put me in hospital and have my stomach pumped.
Well, it'd be like one sip probably because there's that many fucking problems with
There'd
that
be a lot
milk,
of fucked up shit going on there. I mean, Luke had an iron stomach because he was a farm boy, but yeah, look,
That's
you
right.
know, enough of that to put me in hospital. Then I go back again just to double check because I assumed that I thought that milk wouldn't hurt me, so I would have another hit. And then when that hit fucked me up, you know, I would do.
Then you
as
go, oh, my childhood.
Yeah.
Right in the childhood.
Yeah, I would do as you, and I would drink myself into oblivion. So yeah, enough.
But again, I'll
enough
put
of
it
that
out
blue.
there.
Enough of that blue-green milk to kill me. Yeah.
Yeah, but it gets to that point where you're almost dead and you can watch this movie and you probably enjoy it.
Yeah, look,
So-
you know, anyone that enjoys it, power to them. You know, like I don't have any problem with
Yeah,
anyone
of
enjoying
course.
any movie, right? Like
I do.
I know you do. But anyone that comes at me and says that I'm sexist or I'm racist or I'm some kind of misogynist or some shit or a self-flagellating fucking Satanist because I dislike The Last Jedi, well, fuck them because I'm allowed to have an opinion, you know? Like, if I didn't like
Oh,
the
of
movie,
course.
I'm entitled to not like the movie. It doesn't mean I'm sexist, misogynistic, or racist.
I
Anyway,
defended it. I'll just say one thing. I defended it out of like I feel like I had
an obligation.
obligation
Yeah.
to defend it
Yep, no,
against
I get
people
ya.
who we saw it with in opening night.
Definitely.
I defended it.
Yep.
And now I'm as seeing it for a third time, seeing it 2 times at the cinemas, and then seeing it once at home. I've realized that there's not much you can defend. You shouldn't be defending this movie.
No.
It's indefensible.
Well, can
It
they
really is.
Can they redeem it with the next one? We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I hope.
that's all we've got for you this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and our commiserations as always. If you made it till the end of the episode, this was a particularly
Really appreciate it. Anyone who listens to the whole thing.
Yeah, you
Yes.
poor people. Our sympathies. There's no refunds, but we really appreciate you coming along. Thanks.
And don't forget to send your mail to 101
Fuck Kathleen
Postbox
Kennedy
101.
dot
fuck Kathleen Kennedy .com.au
/ EA raped Star Wars franchise in gaming.
Well, settle down.
Sorry.
to get your medal, and we'll send those right out to you.
Definitely.
Plus with $1,000.
Definitely. No, I'm not giving him $1,000. If you got $1,000, I will give you. I will make you
$1,000.
I will make you a handmade medal myself that says Chewy deserved one of these as well. If you like and share this podcast, and if you made it through this episode, because you, sir or madam, are a superstar. Thanks for tuning in.
Our hats are off to you. Thanks.
So, shut up. So that was our rather epic, long-winded review of The Last Jedi. I'm sure it won't be the last you hear from us about that movie. I hope it is the last review we do for it, but it might not be. Thanks for tuning in. We hope we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in to the third podcast of the Dart Drop. See you next week.
Cheers. So, Josh.
Oh, what do you want?
I want to ask you, did you notice a particular similarity between those titty beach cows that Luke's milking and Watto from Phantom Menace?
No, I didn't.
Well, that's because they got the same nose. I mean, go back and look at it again. It's got Watto's nose, and it's like hanging out. It's like wagging his nose around, and it reminded me of Watto when I saw the movie.
So it's probably the fucking female version of Watto.
It probably is. It's probably Watto's daughter or something. Luke's just like swigging off her titty, and
Lovely.
Yeah.
Fucking lovely.
Yeah. So